3 laps complete in this UMP modified heat race.
Leader chooses the outside lane on the restart. That's Justin Mills, and he'll bring us back to the green flag with King and Smith in tow. Down the back stretch they go. Mills, Smith now gets by Wally Alderdice. King shuffled back to the 4th spot. Tate O'Leary riding in 5th. Cross flags go up in the air.
Well, Justin Mills asserting his dominance out here. Let's see. He gets a little bit loose. Drew Smith able to draw in. Then Drew Smith made a mistake right in the center of the turn. We've got an O'Leary around in turn number 1. Keeps that car running. The wheels are still spinning.
Tate O'Leary gets it up the high side as the leader's bearing down in 1 and 2. Mills continues to lead. Smith, who had problems early on, up there in that 2nd spot. Alderdice back in 3rd. 2 to go.
So O'Leary sort of around the middle of the racetrack. Mills able to go to the high side, drive around. And Mills has opened that advantage to a little more than half a straightaway over Drew Smith in that 2nd spot.
White flag goes on the field with Mills, your leader. Oh, close call for Smith getting by Tate O'Leary in the 28. Alderdice running in that 3rd spot, final half a lap for the leader. Out of Wheatley, Ontario, Justin Mills.
I've got an idea, Greg. Justin Mills going to take the checkered flag. 2nd place to Drew Smith. 3rd to Wally Alderdice. 4th is going to be Curtis King. Given that Mighty Wipes is a new partner this year, I think we should have the Mighty Wipes holy yes moment of the night. Now, it is a little double entendre, but that would be a maneuver that would qualify.
So let's call it the family version, I need a wipe move of the night.
Mighty Wipes move of the night.
Right. I like it. I like it, to be honest. And,
we'll
driving these cars, I think you need some Mighty Wipes. They've got really small tires on them compared to what we see with the 358s or if you see with a late model sprint car. That's why traction's at a premium with these cars.
If we could get a chapstick sponsorship, we could have the pucker up moment of the night. Not necessarily talking about your mouth lips.
All right, Nathan Rinaldi goes from the pole. He's out of Brighton in car number 3. Leslie Turcotte Mowat from Trenton on the outside in car number 2. In car number 2, starting in the number 2 spot. Sean Gregory out of Trenton in car number 1 starts from 3rd. Caleb O'Leary in the 28K goes from 4th. Kenny Schrader out of Fenton, Missouri in car 9 starts 5th. Glenn Stiers, the Ohsweken Flyer in car number 0 starts 6th. And Jim Dale Jr. out of Blenheim, Ontario on the 00. In the 7th starting spot, but don't see him out there.
Tough night for these modifieds in practice. Some of them not making the call for the heat race. Out in front, it's all Glenn Stiers, and they're stacked up for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
I'll tell you what, this is the first time I've ever seen Glenn in a UMP. I know he's done some racing in these modifieds in the South. But, boy, he got on it and got gone in a hurry. Now the caution flag comes out as we've got Sean Gregory around in corner number 2. But Glenn was hooked up and gone. Both he and Ken Schrader.
Speed is not a problem for Glenn.
No. Glenn choosing the outside line on this restart. Ken Schrader will line up behind him in that Federated Auto Parts car number 9.
Having a look at the replay there, we're looking at some wild 3-4 wide racing, and then Sean Gregory got around. They'll stack them up once again, waiting for the green flag. Glenn Stiers sets the pace from the outside of row number 1.
Green is out. Glenn Stiers right back on it, trying to pull away from Nathan Rinaldi on the inside line. Stiers is hooked up, and here comes Kenny Schrader.
The Federated Auto Parts number 9, right behind the Ohsweken Speedway 0 at Glenn Steyer. Schrader brings it way up the racetrack going in, drives it down off the turn. Glenn Steyer drives it in towards the cushion and stays up there throughout the entire corner. Look at Ken Schrader diamonding off that turn, making the straightaway just a little bit longer.
Into 3 they go. Schrader cuts down the hill halfway through the turns and tries to get a run on Steyers, but he's doing a very nice job aboard that Glenn Steyers Racing number 0.
Gets a little bit up close to the wall coming off at turn number 2. That's going to allow Ken Schrader to close in that number 9. Steyers there with a push in the middle of the turn. He's really got to kick it sideways to come off. Here goes Schrader to the inside.
Off they go into corner number 1. Schrader, though, is going to push up the track in corner 2. Steyers will keep the lead as they go down the backstretch. This time by, I believe it'll be 3 laps left to go.
Schrader going to regroup, try to close in once again. About 4 car lengths off the back bumper of the 0 machine as they head through 1 and 2. Higher and higher they climb up the banking.
Nathan Rinaldi continuing to hold down the 3rd spot, and Sean Gregory and Leslie Turcotte-Mowat going at it right now for 4th.
Steyers clearly has the upper hand right now out in front with 6 laps complete in this qualifying heat. He's maintained that gap, maybe grown it a car length or 2. Schrader higher on the track. He runs out of banking there in turn number 3.
One more trip around for Glenn Steyers with Kenny Schrader fading in the 2nd spot. Glenn's got these cars figured out.
It would seem so, as the checkered flag going to fly from Dave Hunsinger. Steyer's going to come across with a heat race win. Schrader going to come home 2nd.
Looks like Nathan Rinaldi is going to pick up the 3rd spot. Good run for that youngster. Sean Gregory in 4th, and 5th will be Leslie Turcotte-Mowat. So that will wrap up qualifying for the Dirt Car UMP Modifieds.
Folks, you'll notice as you look up into turn number 3, you can see the silhouette of a body up there. I believe it's Brian Hallowell. He's been hired to work turn number 3. After last week's mini stock adventure, we decided, hey.
Was that our fault? Or my fault for calling that a...
No, you know what? I don't think having a person there is going to be too helpful if a mini stock is coming to the track at 40 miles an hour. But at least we can say we tried. Mark Fawcett on the pole out of Canfield in the 32 machine alongside in the 19T from Niagara Falls. It's Trevor Want. The 65 is from West Lorne. That's Scott Dunn. Alongside him from Binbrook, the 427 is Tim Phelan. Logan Schwedick drives the 53. He's from Jerseyville. Rob Hoskins in the 37. He's from Harley. The 49 is Brewster Baker. Dave Bailey from Hagersville. The 13 is from Brantford. It's Casey Huffman. Rounding out the field from Hagersville, the 93K is Mike Klazinga. I think having someone there to help direct traffic will be helpful, but the point is you can't come onto the track at a 90-degree angle to traffic. Like if you're going to come in from the pits, you really need to follow the flat of the racetrack around 3 and 4 and then join the racing surface off of turn number 4.
It's not that you can't. We saw it done last week, but you really, really shouldn't.
You shan't.
You shan't do that anymore.
Our Mighty Wipes move of the race goes to...
Speaking of shanting. Let's say hi to the big bopper over in corner number 3. Mr. Spiteri is in the house.
Ooh, I was wondering who the big bopper was.
Off they go. Mark Fawcett leads the way.
Oh, Scott Dunn gets sideways across the racetrack. And look at the advantage Fawcett gives after the problem Dunn had there. Fawcett by at least 10 car lengths, almost half a straightaway over Logan Schwedick. Then it's Dave Bailey, Hoskins, Dunn 3 wide. Casey Huffman making it 4 wide. Nope, 3 wide. Dunn was already gone. Don't want to embellish.
Here comes Bailey to the inside of Schwedick. He'll take over the 2nd spot. Hoskins in tow, working that inside line, and Hoskins this week has the Monte Carlo nose after the Firebird nose got shredded last week. That's a shame. I liked it.
I didn't even notice, to tell you the truth. That's pretty observant.
You don't see a lot of Firebirds, so you kind of miss that trademark. Oh, yeah, that's Rob Hoskins, but now he's got the, it's a Monty Bird.
Ooh. Dave Bailey into the second spot, trying to close in on Mark Fawcett in that 49 machine. Casey Huffman was off like gangbusters. He's dropped back to the 6th spot. He's under attack from the white number 93 of Mike Klazinga.
Halfway home in this one, Fawcett leads over Bailey, Hoskins, Schwedek. Klazinga now working up to the 5th spot. He had a podium finish 1 week ago. Looking very stout this year in that number 93K.
Down the front straightaway, Fawcett running right up along the outside wall. Dave Bailey running in the same tire tracks. In fact, they're running virtually the same line through the turns. At least through 1 and 2, they'll race down the backstretch. 8 car lengths between the leader and Bailey in the 2nd spot. And then they've opened up a big gap back to Hoskins in 3rd all by himself over Logan Schwedek in 4th.
2 laps left to go. Bailey drawing up on the back bumper of Fawcett as they go down the backstretch into quarter number 3. Bailey's going to cut it down to the inside, make a charge, cover the white flag.
And Bailey's been able to size up Fawcett this entire heat race and close in on him. There is nobody better in a Thunder car than Dave Bailey, but let's see if Fawcett can will his way to a victory on this final lap. It's not looking good right now as Bailey noses out in front.
Off we go into corner number 4. Fawcett trying to keep it wide open on the outside. It's going to work, and he'll get the win over Dave Bailey.
By about 3 feet, Fawcett takes the win. Hoskins 3rd, Schwedek 4th, Klazinga 5th, Dunn 6th, and then it's Casey Huffman. And Tim Phelan. My bad. Margin of victory 79 1/1000ths of a second. Nice move by Fawcett. And you know, a little thing like that can be a huge confidence booster. Fawcett swinging around the outside of Dave Bailey.
It makes you believe, I can beat this guy.
Heat race number 2 on the track now, the 28D from Caister Center. It's Donnie Lampman on the outside of row number 1 from Hagersville. The 23 is Trevor DeBoer. Starting 3rd in the 24 from Ohsweken, it's Blake Bomberry Jr. To his outside from Hagersville, the 93 is Melissa Miller. Starting 5th in the 41 from Caister Center, it's Adam Plazik. Starting 6th from Ohsweken, the 28T, it's Cameron Thompson. Starting 7th from Guelph, the 79 is Christopher Hale. Starting 8th from Port Colborne, the 11R is Bryce Richardson. Rounding out the field from Ohsweken, the 21 is Blake Bomberry Sr.
Green flag's waving. No one wants to go as they come off of corner number 4. And Trevor DeBoer will jump out, but Donnie Lampman has problems in that 28D and sinks through the field.
And Trevor DeBoer, as polite a fella as you'll find in racing, waiting and waiting for Lampman to go, but you could hear the 28D coughing and sputtering. He's got a feature win to his credit this season, but I don't think he's going to win this heat race.
Now that 28D still sputtering around to the back and dropping to the tail end as we got, Melissa Miller gets sideways.
She'll have to send a thank you card to Blake Bomberry for getting her straightened out there.
As she tagged Blake Bomberry with the front end, and then Bryce Richardson there was there to catch the tail end of the car, and he's got a nice big dent the side of the car to show for it.
Out in front is DeBoer. Whoa, this time Miller's no saving it for Miller as she goes around in turn number 2. The yellow flag is displayed. Nice looking crowd here again tonight, Greg. Thanks so much, folks, for coming back to Ohsweken Speedway, the 25th anniversary season. And if you haven't been following the schedule, my goodness, are you in for some action-packed events this year. 3 Canadian Sprint Car Nationals are on the schedule. Of course, the Pinty's 100 dirt race for the NASCAR Pinty Series a little later this summer. I am as excited for that race that the 360 sprint cars are on the card as well, Greg. That's going to be a fun night.
Yeah, August 15th and 16th going to be a great midsummer show here at the Big O. And, of course, we'll wrap things up with our 3rd version of the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals in mid-September. OhswekenSpeedway.ca with all the schedule information as we're back under the green flag with Trevor DeBoer, Chris Hale, and a 3-wide fight behind them.
Blake Bomberry Sr. back there in that 6th position, just ahead of Cameron Thompson in the 28. So he's I think he's in a qualified spot. Because there's 4 heats, will they take 5 out of each or 6 out of each?
Adam, everybody will qualify tonight. Doug's not going to send anybody home. We're going to put them all in the field.
Wow.
Actually, I am mistaken. We are starting all the mini stocks. There will be a B main for the cons.
Yeah, there's 34 Thunder stocks here.
Yeah, my mistake. We're starting 29. Somebody's got a brake engine that's breaking down pretty bad. Can you hear that up there?
Yeah, Donnie Lampman was, but it looks like Blake Bomberry Sr. has a problem as well.
All right, we'll try and find it out.
Here comes Chris Hale to the outside of Trevor DeBoer, and he's going to lead that lap. 3 more circuits around. DeBoer, Hale, and Plazik right now the top 3. Richardson and Blake Bomberry Jr. right now battling it out for the 4th spot. Here comes Hale working that outside line like we just saw Mark Fawcett use, and Hale again will lead the lap over DeBoer. 2 more circuits around. Hale, DeBoer, Plazik right now the top 3 side by side. Continues to be Richardson and Blake Bomberry Jr. Hale works it off of corner number 3 using that outside line. DeBoer just not able to draw up on the back bumper. White flag is out. 1 more circuit around here in this second qualifying heat of 4 for the Middleport Mechanical Thunderstock Division.
It's going to come down to the wire. Chris Hale in the 79, the 23 of Trevor DeBoer. DeBoer to the inside through 3 and 4, but Chris Hale is going to get it done. Hale for the win, DeBoer for 2nd. Plaza going to hold on for 3rd, then it's Bomberry Jr. and Bryce Richardson and Cameron Thompson. So Clinton, since we've determined we are going to run a consi for this class, a B main, do you know how many we're taking out of each heat?
Should be, I would think, 5 out of each for 20 cars, and the rest would come out of 1B main. But we'll confirm that with Doug and get right back to you.
So Cameron Thompson's either going to have a great starting spot for the consi, or he's going to have a weak starting spot for the feature. Our Abby is doing a phenomenal job, as usual, with the drone.
That was a great look there at Melissa Miller's spin and save.
Here we go with heat race number 3 on the pole in the 07 out of Hamilton is Brian Passetti. On the outside from Caister Center, the 28 is Jim Lampman. For those of you scoring at home, Jim Lampman is Donnie Lampman's father. Their cars look pretty identical, though one's a Camaro, one's a Metric. Starting 3rd from Hagersville, 2nd generation racer in the 3B, Devin Bacher. Alongside from Morpeth, the 5G is Darcy Grant. The 38 is Frank Turkey from Ohsweken. The 25, he's got a sore hand today out of Hamilton. The 25 is Kenny Sargent. Kyle Andrus drives the 43 from Hamilton, and Mark McDonald from Corbyville is in the 2M.
Green is out. We're underway here in this 3rd qualifying heat of 4. Jim Lampman working that outside line. Passetti and Bacher down on the inside. They're 3 wide down the back stretch into corner 3.
How fast was Bacher last week for opening night in that 3 machine?
Looking strong, like we're used to seeing out of a Bacher here at the Big O.
Passetti on the outside in the 07, looking good in that high groove, and a Scott McPhail I believe Scott McPhail owns that car. At the very least, he sponsors it. Jim Lampman really with nowhere to go as Frank Turkey sails it down into 3 and 4, and that number 38. Nobody getting away in this qualifier.
Corner 1 they go with Bacher out in front, Passetti in the 2nd spot. Jim Lampman holding down 3rd, but here comes Kyle Andrus in that 43. Had a good run off the 2nd corner.
Launched himself off of that 2nd turn up into the 4th spot. He's going to look for 3rd on the inside of Jim Lampman. Not only did he not get that, but he lost 4 spots to Frank Turkey in the 38.
So it's Bacher out in front over Passetti. Andrus back down to the inside of Jim Lampman. They'll go door to door, and Andrus gets a great run through 1 and 2, but the straightaway speed's what's lacking right now in that 43.
I don't know that car is running on all 8 cylinders. I don't hear anything wrong, but it's just dramatic how much slower that car is on the straightaway because he's making Passetti.
Oh, wow, that could have been a whole lot worse.
You know what? I think McDonald helped Paccetti finish that spin and get out of the way. We got a bit of fire going under that 07 machine. That's our first barbecue of the season.
It may have extinguished itself. We'll have a look here.
Another contender for our Mighty Wipes moment of the race.
There it is.
Clint, can we do it?
They're here again tonight.
We'll have a look at the replay. You see Paccetti up high just losing it. I'm trying to think. He gets punched right in the front end from Mark McDonald. It almost makes me wonder if something else had happened, because what would getting hit in the front have to do with sparking a fire under the hood?
That's a definite contender, though, because to spin around and then you're face first facing someone else.
You should not be able to see the whites of your competitor's eyes. Like in mixed martial arts, I think it's a good thing. In football, you're lined up head to head, it's a good thing. In motorsports, nope.
Wow. Good move by McDonald. Good driving.
Well, guys, we're up here on the scene. They've got the hood button back down. Looks like they're going to let him continue here. The car looks all right. No major damage, just a little bit of a punch here on the left front. The left front looks a little bit soft. Jack, come on over here and take a look at this. You can see this, it's a little bit soft there, guys. Nothing they can't run with.
Everything up here looks soft.
Scott, welcome back.
Yeah, well, that wasn't how I wanted to start it, but oh well.
Car looks still all right. McPhail has a veteran here, multi-time feature winner. He'll get it fired up and pull away, guys.
Tell him it's okay. It's Brian Paccetti signed in tonight. So Scott McPhail is involved in the car. In fact, he's the driver. It's Brian Paccetti on the scoring sheet. But that's not whose wheel in the 07. I'm a little disappointed that Clinton Jeffrey did not chime in on my brilliant marketing idea. It's all business down there.
Yeah, Mighty Wipes here tonight again behind the grandstand. The Ice Mobile is back. I was so calmed when I saw that the Ice Mobile is back. I was worried we weren't going to have ice cream this year.
You weren't as happy as the owner of the Ice Mobile.
Yeah, that's true.
To see that you're still here.
Okay, I'm paying attention. Give me the pitch now. Mighty Wipes.
The Mighty Wipes moment of the night. Like, we've had a couple of them already.
It was supposed to be the driver who's the hard charger who cleans up the night, but hey, I'm cool with the Mighty Wipes moment of the night if you guys want to pick one.
This is for the driver that needs a wipe, that has an uh-oh moment.
They'll use their Mighty Wipe to wipe the sweat from their brow.
Yeah. So let's talk a bit about Mighty Wipes, a new supporter here. They are down behind the grandstand. They've got a few different product lines out there for you. Automotive greaser is the biggest thing they've got, guys, and this is why they're here with us, trying to break into the automotive market here. But the Mighty Wipes product, and we'll get Jack to turn on his camera. I actually have a sample here, I think, somewhere. Yeah.
Give us a sample wipe, Clint.
I'm not going to give you a sample wipe. This is actually a giveaway, but there's your Mighty Wipes. These are automotive degreaser wipes, so just like your standard wipes, you pull one out, now you clean up your tools, clean up your car, clean up your life, whatever you want. But there it is, Mighty Wipes, automotive degreaser from Canada Wipes.
When I see that, all I picture is you, Adam, with one of those, you know those great big drums of cheese balls they sell at Bass Pro Shop? And a can of Mighty Wipes beside. You'd need two, I think. Green flag is out. Devin Bacher, Jim Lampman, side by side down in the corner.
Bacher down on the inside. There goes Andrus again. Look at him. He's all the way ahead of the Turkey 38. He's all the way behind the Turkey 38 as they go into the corner.
Here comes Bacher across the stripe another time. 5 on the board, 3 left to go in that Dale Earnhardt lookalike car number 3. That car is stout. And Devin, I think this might be that year where he makes that next step of progress.
You know, the nice thing about the Thunderstock division, you know where the bar is set. And the bar is set with drivers like Chris Hale and Dave Bailey and Ryan Beagle and so many more. I mean, there's 8 cars that can win on a given night in a 30-car field. And then you get a couple that work their way up. The Lampmans, there's a bunch in that next group that are right there, that on the right night. But it's a progression. You get to that group, and then you become one of the guns out there as the white flag flies over Bacher. 1 more lap to go.
Bacher trying to flex some muscle and move himself into the next group. How about Kyle Andrus has been solid in this qualifying heat as well. He's running in the second spot as we're going through the final 2 corners here in this third qualifying heat.
Yeah, Andrus, what a job by Andrus finishing second. Bacher for the win, Andrus second. Then it's Lampman, Turkey, McDonald, Sargent. And then it's going to be Scott McPhail. One more heat to go, heat race number 4. We have 34 cars here tonight. On the pole of this one out of Hagersville in the 75, it's Ryan Barry. On the outside in the 97 from Burlington, it's Ron Logie. Row 2 on the inside from Thorold in the number 11, it's Go Fast Teeple. Starting 4th from Caledonia, the 55, is Mike Thorne. Starting 5th from Simcoe, the 8 is Aiden Nye. Starting 6th from Ancaster, the 19 is Kyle Wirt. The 17 comes from Belleville, it's Jeff Humphrey. And rounding out the field from Victoria, the 84 RK, it's the big dog, Ryan Beagle.
Runner-up 1 week ago. Could have had the win if he really wanted to force the issue, but he said he didn't want to win that way, and a lot of respect for a driver like that.
I find it refreshing that our Thunderstock racers have more respect for the sport than our NASCAR counterparts in the prime of the series. And I'm not, well, I guess I am knocking NASCAR, but it's just the way it is. It's okay in that venue, and here it has still not been determined that it is okay to dump your way to a win. Clinton, what would you say?
I just want to add in that I've confirmed they will take 6 out of each of the Thunderstock heats and 4 out of the B main, guys. So top 6 will qualify to these 4 heats and 4 out of the B.
He's not touching that one.
No.
I just heard you saying NASCAR wasn't doing a good job. What are we talking about?
No. What we were talking about Ryan Beagle and the opportunity he had to dump Dave Bailey for the win last week, and that's not how he wanted to win. The comment being that our Thunderstock racers in general will take that approach. Meanwhile, the cream of the crop in the premium series in stock car racing in the world, it has become now accepted to dump the leader for a win.
Yeah, it's never been cool around here, and I don't think it will be as long as we got Doug at the controls. Here we go. I want to welcome Dave Hunsinger, our new flagger tonight. We'll talk a bit about Kyle in a moment, guys. Back to turn 2.
Sounds good. Logie out in front with the lead. Barry fighting off Mike Thorne, but Thorne with a good run on the outside in that Burger Barn number 55.
Well, Ryan Beagle doesn't like that second start as much as the first one. He was up to 3rd by the time they got to the back stretch. He's working his way now here on the second lap. Oh, Mike Thorne! Oh, head on, and then a rear shot for Kyle Wirt in the 19.
That was not as friendly as the spin and head-on shot that we saw in that last heat race.
We're still green. Kyle Wirt is, I guess, going to have to, well, no, now the caution flag comes out.
And Kyle Wirt's vision would be greatly impaired right now. Well, to the point where you wouldn't want to race like that, but he can make his way around to the pits. You can see both ends of that 19 machine affected. We'll have a look at the replay here, and up on the high side, Mike Thorne just got a little too hard on the throttle. And same thing, head-on contact. But that hurt just a little bit more. The good news there is neither of them punched the rat out of their cars because we don't see steam coming out of either of them. At least not out of the engine compartment.
Under the helmets, maybe.
And Mike Thorne would have made a quick stop into the pits.
I want to forget to mention Western Survivor beef jerky also down behind the grandstands, and Adam, you and I and Darren all got to try the new Zimbabwe biltong. And if you like beef jerky that's not a lot of spice, this was the perfect one. It's a new flavor they've got down there. You buy 3 packs of product, you get a can of pop with it for $20 for all 4 items. So head down there to Western Survivor beef jerky, and I believe my son McLean is over in the pits, or will be very soon, peddling it there as well. So get yourself some beef jerky.
It was tasty.
It was. I'm ready for pack number 2 anytime.
Logie in the 97 takes the green flag. He'll lead the way down into 1 and 2. Ryan Beagle way up on the high side in that red 84. The RK Automotive sponsored number 84 up on the high side. Familiar red machine of Beagle.
Off of corner number 4 comes Beagle, working that outside line, and he's got some folks, I'm sure, cheering for him with the APC colors on the hood of that 84 RK. I want to welcome the folks from APC Auto Parts Center, tonight's race night sponsor.
Yeah, I believe they spent a little bit of time down here this week. Luke Ramsey and the gang. Mike Thorne to the inside of goal, fast Teeple. Ryan Berry right behind them. It's a 3-car battle for the 3rd spot, so all 5 of those cars at the front will get into the show. The battle to watch, Aiden Nye and that number 8. Oh, sorry, Aiden.
Your fault.
He'll go around and give up that final transfer spot to the 17 of Jeff Humphrey.
5 laps on the board, 3 to go here in this final qualifier for the Middleport Mechanical Thunderstock division. Still to come, we got the 358 modifieds with paraffins.
I heard from some of the drivers last week that there is something different about turn 2. Since we've come back, the transition from 2 to the straightaway, you run out of banking in a hurry. But that wouldn't explain where these drivers are coming into problems. That's way before that transition. We've had a change. Kyle Wirt took over that 6th position in the 19, so he's up to the transfer spot.
One more time around for Ryan Beagle in the 84 RK. Ron Logie holding down 2nd. Mike Thorne. Good comeback here in the 3rd spot after that head-on contact. Final time through corner 4.
Ryan Beagle going to drive it off the 4th turn. He'll take the win. 2nd place to Logie. That's a good run for Logie. Mike Thorne 3rd. Go Fast Teeple 4th. Ryan Berry 5th. Kyle Wirt 6th. Headed to the concierge, Jeff Humphrey, and the 8 of Aiden Nye. That'll do it for Thunderstock qualifying. Up next, it's the Dirt Car 358 Modifieds. Here's how they're going to line up. On the pole, it's the Penetrator. From St. Catharines, the 88 is Shane Pierce. To his outside, the 18R. From Fort Erie, it's Brad Rouse. Starting 3rd in the 71 out of St. Catharines, it's Mike Bowman. Alongside him, also from St. Catharines, the 37S is Gary Lindbergh. Starting in 5th, all the way from Kingston, the 3RS is Danny O'Brien. Starting 6th from St. Catharines, the 28 is Todd Gordon. And rounding out the field in the 33 from St. Catharines, it's Tyler Willard.
Adam, I just want to make a note about Tyler Willard. I spoke to him Sunday at Humberstone. He said, I only have a big block car. I have a small block. And I saw Tyler here. I said, you made the change. He said, we had to support this race. So we appreciate Tyler Willard getting that small block back in so he can compete here. And here we go.
Off they go into corner number 1. Brad Rouse on the outside. Here comes Mike Bowman down to the bottom side of Pierce. He'll grab the lead down the backstretch.
Wow, Gary Lindbergh cut across the nose of Danny O'Brien. O'Brien backed out of that hole, allowed Lindbergh through. It's pretty early in the night.
Brad Rouse fights back, grabs that 2nd spot away. Now digging on Mike Bowman as they work down the backstretch. And how about the pocket rocket? Danny O'Brien up to 3rd.
Brad Rouse with more laps around the racetrack than anybody else in this heat, although his laps all came behind the wheel of a dirt sportsman machine.
Gary Lindbergh working on the back end of that transport sales and service number 3RS as Danny O'Brien took a look low on Brad Rouse. Good battle for that runner-up spot.
O'Brien looking low, Gary Lindbergh looking high. O'Brien had to check up, Lindbergh did not. I'd love to hear from Danny O'Brien tonight because I'm not sure. Has he been here before, Greg?
I believe he has in the past, yes.
Okay.
Maybe once.
Halfway through this heat, Mike Bowman out in front. Now O'Brien up to the 2nd spot. Brad Rouse back to 3rd. Gary Lindbergh in 4th. Bowman really hasn't driven away too far. He's got a comfortable margin, but O'Brien is within striking distance if he can hit a couple of good turns here.
So with Bowman, O'Brien right now, 1 and 2. Brad Rouse and Gary Lindbergh going at it. Lindbergh takes away the 3rd position as they work off that 2nd corner.
Danny O'Brien closing the gap on Mike Bowman. They work down the front straightaway. It's down to about 8 to 10 car lengths for Bowman out in front. Again, we've heard more and more drivers talk about it, particularly on dirt. When you are the race leader, you are at a big disadvantage. You don't get to search around the racetrack. You kind of run the line you can and do the best you can. But white flag for Mike Bowman. One more lap. It's going to be tough for O'Brien to close that gap.
Bowman, O'Brien, Lindbergh 1, 2, and 3. Rouse sitting back there in the 4th spot as the checker flag comes out. It's going to be Mike Bowman in the Seawave Fluid Power, number 71, picking up the win over Danny O'Brien. 3rd will go to Gary Lindbergh. Brad Rouse in the 4th spot. Then it's Tyler Willard 5th, 6th Todd Gordon, and 7th Shane Pierce. 14 times the small block modifieds have run here at Ohsweken Speedway. Guess who the all-time winner is in 358s here at Ohsweken?
Pete McNeil.
You're right, 7 wins. Next closest,
Chad Brockman.
Oh, so close. Matt Williamson with 2 wins. Chad Brockman's on the list with 1. Adam Ferry 1. Eric Rudolph 1. And who was the very first winner? 1997. Would you have been here?
Yeah, I would have been.
We see him regularly here at Ohsweken, I'll say that much.
No, you wouldn't have been.
No?
We started 98.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there you go.
Jamie Turner.
Wow.
Right on. Heat race number 2, the pole sitter from Fenton, Missouri in the 0S. It's Kenny Schrader to his outside. From St. Catharines, mighty Matt Williamson. Starting in 3rd from Port Colborne, the 97C is Luke Carlton. Starting 4th from Port Colborne, the 12 is Chad Chevalier. Starting 5th in the 08, it's Mark Delario. Starting 6th from turn number 2, it's Glenn Stiers in the 0. And starting 7th from St. Catharines, the 96 is Fast Freddie Carlton.
I thought Fran was here tonight.
Yeah, I just had to spit that out.
And Tommy Flanagan also in this qualifying heat in the 74 machine.
Tommy or Dave?
I thought Nathan said Tommy. I could be wrong. There's a Flanagan in the 74 at the back of the pack.
10-4, good buddy.
And it's not on live timing and scoring. So. Last time the 358s ran here, 2016. Hard to believe it's been that long. Back in the Six Nations Showdown. Wow, that was a wild start.
Crazy notion to wait for the green flag on an original start, but Kenny Schrader, that's exactly what he did. All the other drivers wanted to end all that anticipation that you speak of so often, Greg, just a little bit quicker than Ken Schrader.
You're on the pole still. It's the same lineup we just had, guys.
There you hear Doug Leonard telling them, Schrader, you're still on the pole. That'll be a complete restart.
Lights are out. We're coming to it.
That's the sultry tones of Doug Leonard, our race director. You hear?
Dave Flanagan. You were right, Adam.
Oh, that's 2 weeks in a
It's that
row you've had to say
left-handedness.
that. Waiting for the green flag. Schrader still.
Oh!
And again, that's a horrible start. Like, guys, all you got to do is wait for the green flag.
All right, we're going. Money Matt Williamson out in front. Heavy Chevy on the outside, battling for that second position.
He won't be able to keep that spot. Fred will be going back on the next caution. Doug has said that on the radio, guys.
All right. Yeah, I was going to say that was a sketchy start for Fred Carlton.
Doug Leonard getting our attention to say that the penalty was given. Whoa, contact between Freddie Carlton and Chad Chevalier in turn number 2.
Well, how about this? The two guys that dominated in the UMP modified qualifying heat, they're running at the back here. Schrader and Stiers in those white and blue Ohsweken Speedway cars. That's got to be a handful to drive those two different types of cars.
Kenny Schrader's made a life of doing that, and really Glenn Stiers has experience too in different kinds of race cars. As boy, oh boy, Delario fans out behind Flanagan in that battle for the 4th spot.
Yeah, they made contact off the 4th corner. Sorry, Adam, but it was a close call there. They bumped a little. Delario takes off into the 4th spot.
Delario has always run well here at Ohsweken.
So it's Matt Williamson out in front over Chad Chevalier. Fred Carlton will be put back. So right now it's Delario running in the 3rd position over Dave Flanagan. And Luke Carlton in the 97C. Final qualifying heat of the night. B main coming up for the mini stocks next. Oh, no, sorry. For
Thunderstocks.
Thunderstocks.
Williamson leading over Chevalier. Freddie Carlton, pretend that car's not there. He's running in the 7th spot. One more time around. I'm impressed with Chad Chevalier. He's holding a pretty wheel out there. He turned a faster lap that race than Matt Williamson, but Williamson takes the win. Chevalier 2nd. 3rd to Mark Delario. 4th, it's going to be Flanagan. 5th to Luke Carlton.
Who wins the battle?
6th to Glenn Stiers. 7th to Freddie Carlton. And 8th to Ken Schrader.
Money Matt picks up the heat race win. Qualifying completed. Qualifying heats, that is. Still last chance qualifiers to come here. But for those here live and in attendance, maybe couldn't hear, Fred Carlton docked positions there for that original start, so he did not get that 3rd place finish. He'll finish back in the 7th position. I thought there was a B main lineup for the minis, and there is. And here they are. They're out on the track. Mike Evers goes from the pole. He's out of Caledonia in the 265. To his outside will be Don Deagle from Hamilton in the 12. 8 and 9, the 88 from Simcoe. He'll start 3rd. Rob Twitchett. Don't believe he's going to make the call. As you said, Adam, he's got engine problems. Amy Malik will start from the 5th spot in the 10X. Steve Miller in the 79s out of Brantford. Ashton Dickey out of Brantford as well in the 1A. Crystal Sewells in the 81D, I don't see out there. And Mike Sirentakos does make the call here for this B main.
I believe it should be 6 cars making the transfer. In fact, I have a feeling all of these cars will qualify for the main event. Is Tolton having trouble coming up to speed? Sorry, Ashton Dickey having trouble coming up to speed in that one machine. Evers on the inside of Don Deagle down the back straightaway. 4 cars doing battle. Sirentakos, that's a lot quicker than he was running the last time we saw him on the track, so it looks like he has his problems sorted out.
He'll run in behind Miller as Miller gets to the outside of Mike Evers going down into corner number 1.
Oh, guys, there was supposed to be a couple more cars out there. You're right, all these cars will qualify. Doug will shorten it to 6 laps, and this will determine the starting order for these cars at the back of the feature tonight.
Still to come Thunderstock B main.
Two laps complete in this B main for the mini stocks, and you can see that as the night progresses, the cars migrate further and further up the racetrack. As Amy Malik's car sounds horrible. I think that's Malik's car.
I thought it was Ashton Dickey's. We'll have a listen here this time by. 3 laps in, 3 to go. It sounds like a bomber is about to fly over and...
It's the Dickey one, guys. Ashton Dickey with problems.
Problems also for Mike Evers in the 265 as he slows up on the racetrack down on the bottom. We've seen this from Mike before where it bogs down on the straightaway, then goes like gangbusters through the corner.
So Deagle out in front in that number 12 machine. Miller running 2nd. Sirentakos 3rd. Evers in the 4th spot. 8 and 9 5th.
Believe we'll see the white flag this time from Dave Hunsinger up in the flag stand. Indeed we will. Deagle has one more trip around the racetrack. Steve Miller trying to hold off Mike Sirentakos. They race into turn 1 and 2. Sirentakos went to the outside, then drives the car down the banking in that white number 6X.
Good test for him to make sure that car was ready for the feature event, because he's a guy that can compete 4-feature race wins, and if he had problems in the heat, a good shakedown for him here as Don Deagle gets the win.
Gives a wave out the window as he goes by. Miller for second, Serentak goes third, Evers in fourth, fifth going to Nye. And look at this, Amy Malik trying to hold on for that sixth and final transfer spot. Ashton Dickey wants to take it away. Who's going to get it, folks? After the line, they're side by side. Ashton Dickey, by 4/100ths of a second, qualified for the feature event.
So B-Main still to come for the Middleport Mechanical Thunder Stocks, and I don't see them lined up just yet. We'll take a break in just a moment, but look ahead to the schedule here in the next few weeks. Next Friday night, it is O'Neill's and Case IH night here, dual on the dirt race for the mini stocks and Thunder Stocks, and I heard today from Tommy, I believe the Wall of Fame ceremony is going to move to late July, so that will not take place next Friday night from what I understand. But 7:30 start time, the 360 sprints and crate sprints back on the card next Friday night. Same deal the following week on the 24th. Gales Auto Aftermarket presents the Gales Cash Blast 50, and that's $2,000 to win for the Thunder Stocks. All 4 regular divisions here that night, and then in a couple of weeks' time, July the 1st, Burger Barn presents the 16th running of the Canadian Sprint Car Nationals. $10,000 to win for the 360 Sprint Cars, plus Action Sprint Tour. And the 358 Modifieds will be back on that night for the Canadian 358 Modified Series. I'm looking forward to that because I think we're going to see some heavy hitters from down the east join us as well. So it should be a good show on July the 1st.
And we've got some heavy talent in modified racing. Like, really, East versus West is an even matchup. Before I forget, because we've been remiss, let's do quick fire it up to start off that Thunderstock B-Main. It's coming a little bit later on. And let's start giving some shout-outs. Kieran and Aaron watching in Edmonton, Alberta. Thanks for tuning in from the other side of the country. We love the shout-outs. So I'm going to spend, whenever, I believe this is intermission, I'm going to spend the time looking through the socials and seeing who we have to say hi to, Greg. On G-Force TV, let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
You're so tasty, drive me crazy, ain't nothing I can do.
On the scene since 1949, Fast Eddie was born with a lead foot and a burning need for speed. His passion for speed and sport has been captured in this authentic collection of vintage themed gear. Created for gearheads, riders, and racers, Fast Eddie truly encompasses the great Canadian racing culture we have from coast to coast. Drive hard, get dirty, and look good doing it. Fast Eddie Speedwear. Get geared up.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on G-Force TV.
So who exactly is Fast Eddie? More than just a man, it's the mindset that runs through our blood like oil through an engine. Whether on the track or on the street, Fast Eddie is the spirit that drives us to go fast and keep going. Born in 1949 with no time to look in the rear-view mirror. Every story is worth telling, and every piece of Fast Eddie apparel has its own. Celebrate our mindset. This is Fast Eddie. This is combustion culture. FastEddieSpeedwear.com.
Welcome back live on G-Force TV from Ohsweken Speedway as we get set to go here on June 10th. Here's your first Case IH track report of the night. You can see the track has come in really nice, guys. It is smooth. It is hard-packed. We have a couple little spots here where it's starting to roll up, and that'll get flung up by the cars, and they'll slowly pull this hole apart, and actually they'll flip all this stuff off and reveal this hard-packed stuff underneath. Nothing to really worry about. We will see this roll up a bit. The modifieds will put a bit more hurting on it as we get into it, but track's looking pretty good. Zigger and the crew have done a great job, and that's your Case IH track report tonight, guys.
Yeah, it was one thing I want to talk to you about, Clint, is there a lot of different preparation when you've got two modified divisions compared to having a couple of sprint cars, or is it just the same as usual on a Friday night for them?
I mean, I don't build the track like the guys do, but as we watch it, I think the process is still the same. You're trying to manage it as best you can, get the most water in you can. It looked really good, and it was sitting for a while, and Glenn normally doesn't like it to sit if it's dry and hot out, but tonight we had a lot of moisture in it. The track was able to rest and sit, get perfect for tonight. What we find is the cars tear it up a lot more, so I think the prep stays the same. It's the way we have to manage it throughout the night and make the adjustments with the cushion. Like you saw last week, we started to build up a big ridge there that cars can get into and flip over, so we'll knock that down, we'll crumble that up. Tonight, there's not much really we can do. If you look at these spots, Jack, we got one here, you got a couple back here, and they'll start to roll up as the night goes on, as the modifieds keep pounding off it, but nothing we're really going to have to worry about. If you look, it's fairly smooth, no big chunks. Track's looking great tonight, Greg.
Thanks, Clint. Sorry, I wasn't trying to throw you
No, I'm good.
a hard question, but as a race fan myself, I just kind of wondered, Adam, do you prepare differently for a 358 than you do for a sprint car? Because really they race completely different. And oftentimes, I guess you just used to see in the modifieds run on more of a dry slick, whereas the sprints kind of like to eat on a wet, tacky track.
Yeah, and I forget who asked last week. The nice thing, I prefer a slick racetrack because the accidents in general are less severe. On a tacky track, you're just digging so hard, the cars don't slide as much.
Well, Greg and Adam, if I could jump in here again. So if you see where I am up here on the top side, it's starting to dry out a little bit. But right down here, it's hard packed, still lots of bite in it, all the way to the bottom. If you look all the way over, it's smooth. No major holes, no major big clumps. I think Ziegler has got his hands back in this one excellently already, guys. I'm super confident about what we're going to have throughout the summer. And with the NASCAR guys coming in August, it's going to be amazing. We'll be ready for them.
I couldn't agree with you more. The surface looks great. And there was some social media conversation this week to the point where I actually said no disrespect to Jordan Ray because he'd been doing a great job.
Yep.
But it's nice to have Ziegler back, an old face. And Jordan had the perfect comment with his response. He said, no disrespect at all. I'm glad someone who loves this place as much as I do, Jordan meaning Jordan,
yep,
is at the helm, and Ziegler. And that's what it takes. We've been so fortunate to have passionate, quality people in so many different positions.
Well, mutual respect, too, right? Like, Jordan will tell you he grew up here as a youngster, 3, 4, 5 years old at the grandstands, watching Ziegler prep this track week after week. So, a lot of respect between the two of them and two of the best guys we've had here in the last 20 years, that's for sure. How about the Strickland's Pace truck, Rick, out there? This thing is just gorgeous. I swear they invent a new color of blue every year. That thing is unreal looking up close. If you ever get a chance to see it up close, it is a beautiful piece. Make sure you go down and check out Rick and the folks at Strickland's down on Linden Road in Brantford.
Hey, pull off on Wayne Gretzky Parkway and go north, and it's just kind of kitty corner to Linden Park Mall, and a great location down there, and a great group of staff at Strickland's to go in and check out what they've got. And you know what? Actually, you drive around, a lot of dealerships don't have a lot of stock, but every time I go by Strickland's, they seem to have plenty on the lot and lots of selection. So go say hi to Rick and the gang at Strickland's.
He's going to bring it right up to us here. We'll get a good look at this. Maybe Rick wants to be interviewed again. He's looking at the drone. I better duck because I'm going to get a haircut here when he comes by me. And what a shot.
We can hear it in the microphone.
Where is Abby?
Those mosquitoes are wicked down there.
Yeah, there he is filming our camera 3. Chris Hawkins back on the stand tonight.
Another quick shout out to Jerry, who just made it home from Toronto in time to watch the races with Memphis and Abby from Westburn, Manitoba.
Yeah, I want to welcome Abby Solomon, our new drone pilot, and if you have been fortunate enough to watch us on GeForce the past few weeks, you have seen the masterful skills that this guy has. And Adam, next week, I haven't told Glenn yet, but how about we have a drone versus sprint car race? That's what I've been fantasizing about all week. We're going to have Abby race Glenn Steyer's 360 next week. Any thoughts on who can win? We watched some of the APC series hang on with the best cars in pavement. Do you think he can hang with a 360 out here?
My initial thought is you need more channels.
I was going to say, the only thing I fantasized about all week was a cheeseburger.
I thought you were going to say ice cream, so.
Sleeping in.
Sleeping in would be a good fantasy these days for sure.
But no, you're right. Well, funny, Clinton, we talk about, is it the Speed Channel that has those drone races?
Yeah, they're wild.
I think it's the most horrible thing I've ever watched. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Well, thanks for setting up my promo for next week, brother.
Well, no, because I'm probably in the minority. You love it, and that's fine. So you are the yin to my yang.
You're on camera, Adam.
Yeah,
I don't want to be the nothing to your yang. How about that?
Better break out the wide angles. Too late for that, buddy.
This is fantastic. The drone was right in front of us. They could easily put a fry and a hamburger on that and bring it to the tower for us.
Bring up an ice cream with bugs all in it.
Hey, I'd eat it.
Protein. Thank you.
Well, we are about 2 minutes away from calling the cars back, Doug Leonard has said. So at 8:50, we'll be seeing the cars back out here. So they're lined up and getting ready to go.
So we should Clint, have you decided what you're doing yet tonight?
I think we're all going. Me and you are going to the airport, aren't we?
That's so we've got a flight tomorrow morning at 7:50, and if you watch the news at all this week, it's about how horrible security is at the airport. Tony might know this if he chime in. Is the airport open 24 hours a day? Can we go and check in at midnight tonight?
No, Spencer tells me security opens at 5, so we are sleeping in our cars till 5 in the morning at Park and Ride by the looks of it.
Yeah, what could go wrong sleeping in your car in Toronto?
I don't know, man. The other option was you and I to drive. Greg, we were going to drive 10 hours to Chaudière, Quebec,
With Adam?
leaving at midnight tonight and just skidding in there in time for the show.
If you can picture this, a vehicle actually physically gets smaller and smaller. With every kilometer you go till the end, it's like you're riding in a dinky car.
And even my 30-foot motorhome we just got wouldn't be good enough for us all, you know. And we would have had to hire a driver. But I think Adam had the best logic. He said, oh, yeah, that's great. But we don't get home till Tuesday.
Yeah.
I'd rather sleep in my car at the corner of Jane and Finch than drive all the way to Quebec with you.
Well, that's about what we're going to do tonight, Greg. So come on down.
Not that if you live near Jane and Finch, it's just in the news a lot.
Well, if you don't get enough of me and Adam, we will be live on Flow, I think, 5 o'clock tomorrow from Chaudière, Quebec with the NASCAR Pinty Series. And then we'll fly right back.
I heard the best story from someone who will remain nameless about getting in a fight in Toronto with 3 other fellas. It was 1-on-3. He says, Adam, I took 2.5 of them down. He says, unfortunately, didn't quite get to the end of the third, and I wound up on the short end of that one. Made for a pretty good story, though. Never heard it explained quite like that. Now, I'm looking back at the lineup in the pits for the Thunderstock Consi, and I don't know why I'm not just looking down at the sheet of paper that has it written on it. I thought Casey Huffman ran better in his heat. But no, he's on the pole of this B main. So let's take a quick break on G-Force TV. We will come back with Consi action here at Ohsweken Speedway.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on G-Force TV.
On the scene since 1949, Fast Eddie was born with a lead foot and a burning need for speed. His passion for speed and sport has been captured in this authentic collection of vintage-themed gear. Created for gearheads, riders, and racers, Fast Eddie truly encompasses the great Canadian racing culture we have from coast to coast. Drive hard, get dirty, and look good doing it. Fast Eddie Speedwear. Get geared up.
You're so tasty. So, drive me crazy. Crazy. Ain't nothing I can do.
Middleport Mechanical Thunderstock B main on the track here at Ohsweken Speedway on G-Force TV. Casey Huffman will go from the pole in the 13. Donnie Lampman, the 28D, see if he's got that car going up to full snuff now. He's out of Caister Center. He'll start second. Scott McPhail out of Hamilton in the 07. He'll start third. Jeff Humphrey out of Belleville in the 17 goes from fourth. Tim Phelan in the 427 from Binbrook goes from fifth. Blake Bomberry Sr. out of Ohsweken in car number 21 rolls off 6th. Darcy Grant is out there in this B main out of Morpeth in the 5G going from 7th. And then I think we have Trevor Want in the 19T from Niagara Falls. We also have Melissa Miller out of Hagersville in the field, but Aiden Nye did not make the call in the 8 machine.
No, he sure didn't. Are you mowing my grass? Like, I'm introducing the Thunderstock tonight, Greg.
Yeah, whatever.
Do we have to draw a line up here?
We do. It's dripping
Yeah,
from the ceiling.
the leak through the ceiling will act as the line.
Well, that was an interesting start. Trevor Want's halfway to the start-finish line.
That is the short way around Ohsweken Speedway. Not the fast way, but the short way. Casey Huffman with the lead. Donnie Lampman looks to the inside, down the back straightaway. Look at Jeff Humphrey in that beautiful number 17.
Is this 6 cars we're taking, I believe?
That is what I hear.
Casey Huffman, Donnie Lampman. Donnie's got that car humming a lot better now than it was in his qualifying heat. Going out of Casey Huffman as Darcy Grant's got some issues behind the under the hood of the 5G.
Melissa Miller sort of rubbed up Jeff Humphrey there, ran him out of real estate, but she was trying to get to the outside of Scott McPhail in the 07. Now that Scott McPhail's trying to get to the outside of her. Little bumper loving.
Oh, Humphrey's going to go around in 2. He'll keep the foot in the throttle, though. And now, well, no, he's going to keep it going.
That was pretty sporty of Jeff Humphrey to keep that car rolling. When you're in a consi, that knocks him out of a transfer spot here, so he's going to have to get up on the wheel and really do some pedaling.
Top 4, guys. Top 4.
I was going to say top 4.
Yeah, we took 6 out of the 4 heats for 24. We'll take 4 out of the B.
Gotcha. Cross flags go out. So right now for Jeff Humphrey, he's hoping one more car will drop out.
Well, he needs
he needs
3.
Yeah, 3. Sorry, Clint just said 4, and I don't listen very well.
It's all right. It's nice when someone else doesn't listen to him and bust themselves.
Hoffman, Lampman, Miller, and McPhail right now are the transfer cars. So it's Phelan, Want, and Humphrey.
How's that for some great racing at the front of this one? Casey Huffman showing respect to Lampman. He's leaving that lane to the outside. Melissa Miller looking for racing room back there, but man, oh man, this is some quality action.
Hoffman really up on the wheel this year in that number 13, doing a great job. He's got the lead. Lampman and Miller made a little bit of contact down there. Lampman keeps it straight.
Miller kept her foot in the gas there. Much to Donnie Lampman's dismay. Got him a little bit squirrely, so he wants to get away. I mean, they're qualified. They are firmly in transfer spots. In fact, Lampman goes to the bottom that time in 1 and 2. Kind of a way to defend that maneuver as they work down through towards 3 and 4.
Off the corner comes Casey Huffman to the checkered flag. He'll pick up the B main win over Donnie Lampman, Melissa Miller, and Scott McPhail. Phelan, Want, and Humphrey will be done for the night. And that will wrap up all of our qualifying as we'll get ready for feature time. And before we do, we've got some souvenir program prizes to give away. If you have any of these numbers, go down to the base of the flag stand. First up, a t-shirt courtesy of Oscar Racing, 0219, 0219. Free general admission tickets to Ohsweken Speedway, a pair of those, 0282, 0282. Hat courtesy of Caledonia Auto Supply to 0222, 0222. And Monster Energy Cooler Lunch Bag courtesy of Coca-Cola to 0276, 0276. If you have any of those lucky program prize numbers, go down to the base of the flag stand to claim your prize. 0219, 0282, 0222, and 0276.
Looks like the mini stocks are going to be the first feature event of the evening. They're lined up back there on the small track.
What'd you just throw at me?
Who?
It's on the floor here.
What's the starting lineup for the UMP Modifieds?
Oh, thanks.
How dare you throw my offering on the floor?
TJ Robinson, 23 tomorrow. Did you already say that?
Nope.
He's looking for a shout out from you, not from me, so sorry, TJ.
Well, you know, who can blame him? Happy birthday, TJ. Mini stock feature event on the racetrack. Here is how they're scheduled to line up. On the pole from Ancaster, the 16 is Fabio Oliveri. Starting in the second spot in the 64 from Brantford is Nick Erskine. Starting third from Port Colborne, the 14L is John Lupick. And starting fourth out of York, the 9 is Tim DeBoer. Starting fifth in the 96 out of Thorold is Tyler LaFantasy. Starting fifth is Tyler LaFantasy. Let's tell you who's starting sixth before we do seventh. Starting sixth from Linden, the 11E is Jeff Elslinger. Seventh from Burlington, the 10J is Jeremy Hughes. Eighth from Hagersville, the 2 is Matt Newell. Ninth from Hagersville, the 26 is Tim Newell. 10th from Waterford, the 4 is Wade Thorne. Starting 11th in the 01 out of Waterdown, Tristan De Silva. Starting 12th, he has a birthday on Monday. From New Hamburg, the 21H is Ryan Hiller. Starting 13th from Beamsville, the 7B is Braden Cuse. 14th from Smithville, the 51 is Eric York. 15th from Ohsweken, the 188 is Paul Longboat. 16th from Parts Unknown, the number 60 is Martin Schroeder. 17th from Stratford, the 54 is Christopher French. 18th from Guelph, the number 1 is Jason Tolton. Starting 19th in the 11 from Caledonia, it's Mike Giberson, the pinball. Starting 20th from Beamsville, the 27 is Nico Hansen. Starting 21st in the number 23 from Hagersville is Dusty DeBoer. Starting 22nd from the Hamilton, the number 12 is Don Deagle. 23rd from Smithville, the 6X is Mike Serentaco. Starting 24th from Caledonia, the 265 is Mike Evers. Starting 25th from Simcoe, the 88 is Aiden Nye. Starting 26th from Brantford, the 1A is Ashton Dickey. Starting 27th from Guelph, the 10X is Amy Malik. Starting 28th from Brantford, the 79 is Steve Miller. So all that hype, Greg, about Amy Malik coming up just hundredths of a second short. And there she is out there starting in the A-main.
So you didn't listen either because Clint said they were all making it.
Yeah, but then I think we talked about, yeah, he said that before, and then we had conversations about, I don't know. I just work here.
Anthony Dortona wants another shout out. Wesley Shar, administrator, said, no, you got yours last week, but he didn't get one from me. So hope you're having a good night, Anthony. And TJ thanks you for giving him the birthday shout out. So thanks for bringing that up, Adam. That was good.
You know, people pick sides, Greg. It's how it's been. You had to blow it last week and admit that you don't hate me. It's kind of more fun when you didn't like me. Or at least gave that illusion. Although I did send you a Facebook message this week and you read it and didn't reply. You left me on red. You left me on red.
You did.
You know, I don't know if this is going to work out.
No, I'm confused.
Shocking.
Oh, the T-shirt and hat idea. Yeah, that is you.
Right? I think it could be a big one. We'll unveil that later on. White flag next time by. We're going to go green for 15 laps of mini stock feature racing. How about that flyover?
We time it perfectly every week.
I got to tell you, the birds up here are in horrible formation. Like, I remember younger, that being right on the money.
COVID, everybody's lazy now.
But they've been drinking.
Ready to go. First feature of the night, the HRW Automotive Mini Stocks. Fabio Oliveri and Nick Erskine on the front row. We're underway.
The field fans out in standard mini stock fashion. Nick Erskine way up to the outside. Fabio Oliveri with an efficient line around the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to lead the way into turn number 3 in that number 16 machine. LaFantasy on the bottom in the 96. Nick Erskine up top, a side-by-side battle for second. Erskine's going to take that spot. Jeff Elslinger climbs up to fourth. And we got a problem in turn number 3. It's Nico Hansen.
That will put us under the caution flag, and the driver's net comes down. He's not angry. The steering wheel went on the dash.
No, they're polite young men. Nico, his brother Josh, the J&E Recovery, number 27. They were raised upright, Greg Callan.
John McGeorge watching in Northwest Ohio. Glad to have you, John. And Raz Ton, Dunkirk, New York. That's always, when we go to Erie, Pennsylvania, my wife and I like to go down there and spend some time shopping and spending time in the States. Dunkirk's always kind of our rest stop on the way home, and stop at Ollie's Bargain Outlet. And it's not a big place, but Dunkirk's a regular stop for us. So
very cool.
Thanks for tuning in.
Well, guys, young Nico Hansen here, getting his second race ever. He says he had no steering, guys, so he's going to take this one back to the pits. Tough break for young Nico, number 27, the J&E Recovery and Towing Machine. And I think he might have banged his knee up a bit, but yeah, no steering, guys.
You know, that's kind of a happy ending if you lose steering and you just wind up parked on the backstretch, not on top of one of the cinder blocks. Or Hawk and Fang making the rounds again. It's another nice night to be a mascot, I'd say, Greg.
Yeah, wait till August. They won't be waving. Uh-oh, security's coming at him.
Take him away.
What did I say? I didn't do it.
Beautiful sky. It's always a beautiful sky up here. Something to behold.
Yeah, the sky usually is up here.
And thank you. You forget how wide this racetrack is. I mean, we've been calling races the last couple of years, been fortunate to go to Brighton and Humberstone and Merrittville and all over the place. Southern Ontario Motor Speedway, which is relatively wide, but it really is, in terms of width, nothing compared to the Big O.
No, it's been nice to be back home here on Friday nights. Oh, it's a vehicle they need moved. We're okay, Adam. We're allowed to stay for another hour.
Nice.
10 o'clock's usually where the wheels fall out. I thought it was early for security.
10:30 we go squirrely. What do you think it is about that? Like, it really is a hard line on the clock. When you or I say something ridiculous, we actually normally look at each other and look down to see what time it is. Like, yeah, that's expected. We have a shelf life.
All right, we have a white Ford CCRS 427. White Ford CCRS 427. Your lights are on. White Ford CCRS 427. Your lights are on.
I don't know my license plate.
I know,
like,
right?
if you said that to me, hopefully it's someone else's white Ford. I do think it would be fun to watch a drone race a sprint car. I just don't think it's fun to watch a drone race another drone. It just drones on and on.
Oh, I knew that was coming.
Damn.
Don't try and backdoor now.
There's no backdoor.
We had fans in the chat say they definitely want to see the drone versus the sprint car.
Nick Erskine in the 64, Fabio Oliveri in the 16 up on the high side. He'll get on the loud pedal, and we are back underway.
They'll fire it down into corner number one, and Fabio to the outside. Erskine takes the lead. LaFantasy right now running in second. He was last week's winner in that number 96.
Paul Longboat in that black 188, about halfway through the field. He got right up to the wall coming off of turn number 2. You could see the loose dirt coming up off the rear tires. He was able to save it.
Nick Erskine, second week in a row, just right to that next level here in 2022. Great to see for this young man running in that third spot aboard car number 64. We got one way up high.
Jeff Elslinger got up high and saved it. The next one, that's
John Lubeck.
John Lubeck got way up high and lost a whole bunch of positions.
Right now, Tristan De Silva running back in that 9th spot. The drone in about 10th. Well, no, he just made a pass. Fabio out in front.
And Fabio's making his speed on corner exit. Tyler LaFantasy gets into the corner well, gets through the center well, but it looks like Oliveri is making better tracks. Wow, he got loose there in turn number 4.
Oh, is his
Flat
rear? Yeah.
Oh, heartbreak.
So here goes LaFantasy now to the top spot. Nick Erskine to second. Braden Cuse in the punch buggy there right now running in third. And Fabio's going to park into the outside of corner number 1 and put us under the caution flag on lap number 5.
So he will head to the pits for some courtesy laps. And this could be a Mighty Wipes moment of the night. Need those Mighty Wipes to wipe the tears from your face after leading by a good margin. 5 laps into this 15-lap feature event leaves Tyler LaFantasy your race leader in the 96, Nick Erskine second in the 64, Braden Hughes third in the 7B, then fourth is Jeremy Hughes in the 10J, fifth is the 2 of Matt Newell. 6th is the 9 of Tim DeBoer, 7th the 11E of Jeff Elslinger, 8th the 01 of Tristan De Silva, 9th is the 4 of Wade Thorne, and 10th it's the number 1 of Jason Tolton.
Rob Edgar just sent me a photo. He's eating some Western Survivor beef jerky. It looks like he's at home on his deck. He's got the cracked peppercorn.
No, he's out back. He bought it from your son.
Oh, did he? Oh, okay. Don't eat it all at once, Rob. Savor some for later on.
Green flag waves once again. Don't see the Fabio Oliveri number 16, but LaFantasy out in front. Braden Hughes closing in. And it's Jeremy Hughes, Nick Erskine, and Matt Newell in that number 2 battling for third.
Fabio's back out. Fabio Oliveri in the 16. He's in front of the leaders as they complete another lap. 6 on the board now, 9 to go. So right now Fabio looking for a yellow flag so he can get caught back up.
Oh, Newell gets... Wow, that got narrow. Holy moly, Newell got squirrely. DeBoer got shot up at the track. Tristan De Silva shoots the gap. So did Elslinger. I do not know how they all made it through.
Wow. Great bit of driving there on the backstretch. Everyone's surviving here. We've said it numerous times over the years. It's like pack racing at Talladega. We're really seeing it tonight. A little bumping and banging.
Battle for the lead. Braden Hughes to the inside of LaFantasy, side by side out of turn number 4 as we reach the halfway point.
Lubeck on that last restart. And look at the beaten bang down through victory lane. Elslinger and Longboat.
Longboat has to make that long trip now, a hard left turn to get back onto the racetrack.
That was literally a race to victory lane there, and I wasn't sure how that was going to end.
No.
I thought maybe Steve Lyons is going to be rewrapping that this week. Well, LaFantasy out in front. John Lubeck, I was just about to say, on that last restart, really fired it out of a cannon on the outside line. Now he finds himself in the 3rd spot behind Braden Hughes.
Nick Erskine doing everything he can to challenge for that 3rd position. So the top 3 are basically visiting race cars here tonight. These are cars that race at the Merrittville Speedway, Humberstone Speedway, but not necessarily Ohsweken regulars over the years. Oh, Ryan Hiller with problems in the 21. He pulls to the inside of the turn 3 and 4 wall. He will not celebrate his birthday with a trophy on Monday.
Off of corner 4, another time by. going to be 3 laps left to go for Tyler LaFantasy, looking to make it 2 wins in a row. Cuse in second, Lubick running in third. Fourth right now, it's Erskine and Newell. Matt Newell in the 2, and Nick Erskine in the 64, fighting for 4th and 5th.
It's a 4-car battle for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Now, Braden Hughes got away just a little bit, but that leaves 3 of them to duke it out for the final spot in Quick Victory Lane.
More times around, make that a lap and a half for Tyler LaFantasy as he comes up behind the back end of the longboat, 188. White flag coming out this time. The leader punts the slower car of longboat off of corner 4.
Yeah, he can't know how big a lead he has, so he's trying to protect that bottom. That's going to allow everybody to close in. What a battle we've got. LaFantasy for the final time down the back stretch.
Here he comes through corner number 3, and a great battle for second. 4 cars won it. Here we come to the checkered flag. Tyler LaFantasy makes it 2 in a row. Cuse will get second, Newell third, Lubick 4th, and Nick Erskine 5th.
Further back, we got more side-by-side battles. Serentaco's going to edge out DeBoer and French. That was for somewhere around that 15th position, but a great show by the HRW Automotive Mini Stocks again, as usual. These drivers putting on a display out there. Fabio Oliveri's trip to Victory Lane is going to have to wait.
Jeremy Hughes, Jason Tolton, Tristan De Silva, Dusty DeBoer, and Tim Newell complete the top 10 here tonight. And for guys like Matt Newell and Nick Erskine, good points night again, although Tyler LaFantasy makes it 2 in a row with a couple of outsiders coming in. Braden Cuse and John Lubick. It's going to be a couple of good point nights again for Erskine and Newell. So they're going to be happy, I think, coming out of tonight, even though Tyler's starting to build a little padding there at the top of the standings 2 weeks in.
Yeah, and it's not normal in the mini stock class for the Merrittville cars to really do well. This is just a much different place in terms of gearing and preparation, but Tyler LaFantasy has figured something out as Clinton Jeffrey is trying to orchestrate their way into Victory Lane. Some Lone Wolf fireworks.
Yeah, Lone Wolf back again, lighting up the skies here at the Big O. As we get Tyler LaFantasy into Victory Lane here. Quick fire starter. Victory Lane. We never did do that fire it up, Adam.
Nope. We'll do it to start the modifieds.
We have the drone in the middle of the fireworks. That's interesting. Okay, we're going to see Peter Anderson and Derek Smith push Tyler LaFantasy. Let's see it. Put those cameras down, guys.
Are you telling me the front end of Tyler LaFantasy's car has somehow collapsed?
No, it's stuck in the mud.
You're a stick in the mud. Now tell us what's going on with Tyler's car.
If you had a monitor, you could see this right here, Adam.
Oh, look at that.
Your monitor doesn't have a power cord, unfortunately. So.
No, and I can't see the front half of LaFantasy's car through Dave Hunsinger.
Wow.
I love me a Hunsinger.
So we've been working on the infield here, obviously, and Tyler, we told him to come slow through here, and as soon as it went, it just sunk and dug the nose right into the dirt here. So we're going to tow him up here onto the
that's deep.
Quick Victory Lane here. There we go.
I think that's an old Richard Pryor comedy sketch, isn't it? That water's cold and deep. I'll bet you $20 Tony Spiteri gets that joke. So LaFantasy has been pulled up to the concrete where they can release that car. Clinton Jeffrey unhooking the cables. He'll pull in to his proper spot right in the center of the Quick Fire Starter Victory Lane.
Well, we're joking with him. He says the car's already heavy, and now Tim Newell buries his car in the mud. It's a lot of fun to see you out of the car here. Tyler, come on around and talk to us. Tyler, another solid win to start your year here at Ohsweken. Point leader extraordinaire. 2 weeks in a row, that's a pretty good start.
Yeah, you know what? This car is just hooked up. I dialed it in, and it just wants to do wicked every race. It's right where I want it to handle, and I can't be happier with the car.
Lap cars in your way again tonight. You took a good kick in the back end longboat there. What does that do to your psyche? When you're leading this race, you got a couple to go, and there's a slow guy right where you need to go.
You try and watch where they're going, but sometimes they just decide to change the line when you come up on them. He was running a little higher, and then when I went to go past him, he crowded me a bit, but worked out in the end, so it works out.
Right on. Tyler Lafontaine gets it done. We'll get over here and talk to Sean Hughes, too. Buddy, you haven't been around a while. Welcome back. Good deal to be about here on the Quick Victory Lane for second place.
Yeah, lots of fun. I haven't been here literally in 20 years, so this is great. I didn't expect to be here at all.
Looking good, man. Awesome run. Congrats.
Great. Thank you.
Sean Hughes gets it done. We'll get over here and talk to our buddy Matt Newell. Sorry, Dale. We just walked right through your shot. Matt, come on over here and talk to us. We're going to have to fix this one up for the next couple of classes. But, Matt, not a bad start to your season. 2 times on the podium, a second and a third. That's a pretty good start.
For sure. I'd like to thank my sponsors. I missed out Gales last time I was here. Northern Performance, LA Tuesdays, Diamond Graphics. They all helped me a lot for getting this car ready.
Right on. Matt Newell, folks, will finish third here today after second last week. Matt Newell will be third. Sean Hughes second, and your winner, Tyler Lafontaine, in the 96. Your top 3 down here in Quick Victory Lane. We'll be right back live here on G-Force TV. Stick around. We have the UMP Canadian Mod feature coming up next.
Early man discovered fire, but Quick perfected fire. Quick is the only fire starter that guarantees to start your campfire, wood stove, or fireplace without the need for kindling or paper. Find your nearest Quick retailer at quickquick.com.
So who exactly is Fast Eddie? More than just a man, it's the mindset that runs through our blood like oil through an engine. Whether on the track or on the street, Fast Eddie is the spirit that drives us to go fast and keep going. Born in 1949 with no time to look in the rear-view mirror. Every story is worth telling, and every piece of Fast Eddie apparel has its own. Celebrate our mindset. This is Fast Eddie. This is combustion culture. FastEddieSpeedwear.com.
Back live here on G-Force TV.
Could you hear Spencer Cute? I don't know.
No, I could not.
It was like from a microphone 3 doors away. But thankfully, we salvaged that one, Greg.
Oh, did we ever? That was smooth as crunchy peanut butter.
Is that a full moon? No. It's a moon. I'm not from around here.
All right, UMP Modifieds, Canadian Modifieds, ready to go with their feature event, 25 laps of distance. Justin Mills will roll off from the pole in the 6M. He's from Wheatley, Ontario. To the outside from Trenton, and the wanted, Sean Gregory. Wally Alderdice from Brighton will go from the third spot aboard car number 5. At his outside from Fenton, Missouri, it's Kenny Schrader in car number 9. Starting in 5th out of Wooler in the 07, it's Curtis King. And to his outside, starting in 6th out of Brighton in car number 3, it's Nathan Rinaldi. Going from 7th out of right here in Ohsweken, car number 0, Glenn Stiers. And going from 8th, it's Drew Smith in the 86. Tate O'Leary out of Wallaceburg in the 28 will go from 9th. 10th will be Leslie Turcotte Mowat from Trenton, car number 2. Tim Richardson out of Comer in the 5X goes from 11th. Caleb O'Leary from 12th in the 28K. Joel Dick is scheduled to go. Yes, he's there now in the 09. He's from Leamington. And Jim Dale Jr. out of Blenheim in the 00. I don't believe Jim's going to make the call.
No, I think, Jim, that was the bus and hauler and trailer we saw leave about half an hour ago during intermission, unfortunately. But it's time to go UMP Canadian Mod feature racing.
Green flag goes up in the air, and it's Justin Mills dominated his qualifying heat. He's out in front of that beautiful number 6M as he works it down the banking in corner number 2. He's got a fight on his hands behind him as Ken Schrader works with Sean Gregory and Wally Alderdice.
Schrader way up on the outside. Glenn Stiers really struggled with a pushing race car in that turns 1 and 2 that first lap. He's got it gathered in, but he lost a bunch of spots. Justin Mills leads the way over Sean Gregory and Kenny Schrader.
Schrader working that outside on Sean Gregory in the Weldon Racing car number 1. They work it off at corner number 4 with Mills out in front. Gregory holds the spot. Well, no, Schrader takes it away.
Ken Schrader up on the high side in the Federated Auto Parts number 9. He'll sweep around Gregory to take over the second spot and then try to close in on Justin Mills. He drives right to the bottom of the racetrack in 3 and 4. Mills still working the high side.
The wild card in this feature right now is that 09D of Joel Dick. We didn't see him in the qualifying heats. We kind of saw what everyone else had. We knew Justin Mills was going to be quick. We knew Ken Schrader was as well. And Joel Dick, no surprise, he's up there running in the 4th spot.
Well, this top 3 might be a little bit surprised when they see Dick poke around the inside or the outside. That car's working all over the racetrack.
Justin Mills works it through corner number 3. This time by will be 5 on the board, 20 to go for the UMP Canadian Modified Challenge. Ken Schrader working that second spot, pulling away from Sean Gregory.
Glenn Steyer's trying to make up still for that opening lap mishap. We've got one around in turn number 3.
Leslie Turcotte Mowat goes around in car number 2. That'll put us under the first caution flag of the event with 20 laps left to go.
She was gonna pull around and she wisely stayed put while the pack came through. Well, this will be a relief for Glenn Steyers behind the wheel of that number 0. It did not go that well on the first start.
We're recording everything you say tonight. Taking notes.
I just work here. Point me to the microphone. This thing on? You don't drink, do you, Greg?
Only on Friday nights. No. Oh, my.
I don't drink nearly enough.
Justin Mills, the leader, chooses the outside line over Kenny Schrader. And this is the yellow flag that Glenn Steyers needed. He had a lot of work to come to the back. He's already up to the 6th spot now. And I think this is where we're going to see him turn on the power and race his way up here into the mix. Back under the green. 20 laps left to go. Ken Schrader grabs the lead away. Here comes Justin Mill down the hill off of corner number 2. They'll go side by side into corner number 3. Schrader up top. Mills runs the bottom.
Glenn Steyer's way up the hill, but he was able to find the bite he needed to get around the turn. Didn't lose much ground. Once he figures out corner entry, Steyers is good once they're up to speed. It's those starts that are challenging for the driver of the 0.
Here comes Joel Dick to the outside of Sean Gregory, working on that 3rd spot. He's got Glenn Steyers in tow right behind him in that outside line. They're working it hard right now, trying to get by Gregory and Smith, who are running down that lower groove.
Out in front, Ken Schrader not really able to pull away. We are under yellow, and this time, for goodness sakes, let's do a quick fire it up.
Thank you for remembering, because I was clearly not going to.
You know what? I don't know what's wrong with us.
The list is too long.
It's a lengthy list. Normal is way overrated. I wouldn't know, but I'm not speaking from experience.
Brad Forward says, the Kenny Schrader? Yes, it is. Ken Schrader here tonight.
The one and only. That was a forward question.
Literally.
Field circulates under yellow.
A lot of different folks watching tonight. Just had someone chime in from Charlotte, North Carolina. We saw Ohio earlier, Connecticut, Georgia. This is why we do what we do and bring it to you free of charge. No monthly, no yearly subscription, no nothing. Tune in. You're on G-Force absolutely free. We thank all of our great partners who help us do that.
We have trouble in turn number 1. Tate O'Leary, number 28. pointed the wrong direction. Now it is not.
So 18 laps left to go. Still 2 features to come as well. The Middleport Mechanical Thunderstocks are up next, and then we'll have the Dirt Car 358 Modifieds here on APC Auto Parts Center tonight. Great show up at Flamborough Speedway last Saturday for the APC Series, Adam. I was able to tune in and watch the last couple of laps there in that one, and another great show at Flamborough, and that series continues to put on great shows no matter where they go.
It was a good race. It was a good crowd. The Quick Super Stocks for the second year in a row at Flamborough ran their 50-lap feature event caution-free. An impressive display by those drivers, but we've got an impressive display right here with Kenny Schrader in that familiar number 9 alongside the Justin Mills 6M. We're going to go back to Green Flag Racing.
Back on it, Ken Schrader will lead them across the stripe. Justin Mills tucks in behind.
Quick, fire it up.
Fantastic battle out in front between Ken Schrader and Justin Mills. They're going back and forth. Drew Smith's in this. He's still trying to maintain down on that bottom side. He's been very diligent on that bottom side, trying to reel the top 2 in, and it's almost like if he just stays patient there and these 2 keep at it, maybe he'll be able to pounce.
It's a brilliant plan until Glenn Stiers comes along and sweeps around the outside, but Stiers closing in right now. The battle is still Schrader and Mills swapping slide jobs back and forth.
Mills off the corner. Schrader hops the wall off of corner number 4.
Close quarters out there. Now I'm not going to the outside this time. I'm going back to the inside.
Schrader on the inside in corner number 3. Let's see what happens this time. Meanwhile, Glenn Stiers is right on that out extreme edge right now, trying to gain momentum on the leaders, and he's closing the gap.
And look at the white balls on the tires of Kenny Schrader's car. He rubbed that wall with both sides of the 9 machine.
Man, Glenn has really grabbed a hold of these cars. They really fit his driving style, and he's like this in the sprint car. He winds it up on the outside line and just keeps that momentum going. He is hooked up tonight to 0.
And the way the O'Leary 28 car is going, well, slides up the racetrack towards the Glenn Stiers line, but that played right into Stiers' plan.
Yeah, Smith had to work around the outside of the O'Leary machine. It keeps digging on the bottom. Schrader continues to lead.
And you can see the track just smoothing over. It's got a glaze to it. Just great racing surface prepared by Zigger Van Tile tonight.
Mills leads that lap. Schrader digs back on the bottom. And here comes Stiers now around the bottom.
He changes it up, and it's a wise choice. You don't want to be a one-trick pony. The outside's working pretty well for him, but you've got to know what your car will do in other spots on the racetrack.
It's Mills, Schrader, Smith, Gregory. Glenn Stiers not showing up in the scoring pylon right now, but he's right now battling with Ken Schrader for that second spot. So Smith right now 4th. Sean Gregory, a good performance up there in the top 5, right ahead of Joel Dick.
Schrader could still be battling some issues created when he tagged the concrete on the front stretch there. Because now that Mills is able to run his own line around the racetrack, he seems to be just a bit quicker than Schrader, and we've got trouble. One going up in smoke on the front straightaway. Looks like he's going to get out of harm's way and head towards the pits.
Yeah, that's Wally Alderdice is going to head to the pit area. Car number 5. Looks like his evening is done as Mills continues to lead. This time by it'll be 6 laps left to go and some traffic that could determine the outcome of this race, as Schrader needs something to catch leader Justin Mills.
And the traffic they're moving in on is fanned out across the racetrack. You've got Leslie Turcotte Mowat working the inside of the track in that number 2. O'Leary in the 28 up high.
Curtis King's right there kind of in the middle.
And Nathan Rinaldi as well.
Oh, Glenn goes around.
Oh, no. That was going to be a fun battle to watch through traffic.
Still 6 laps left to go. Not a huge field of cars now with the attrition, so I'm not going to say Glenn's done just yet. He's got plenty of time here on this restart.
And you see the white walls on the side of Kenny Schrader's right side tires there from the front stretch concrete.
What a battle back and forth, and there's the ride up the wall for Ken Schrader.
What a great job Spencer does for us. Spencer and Daniel down there in the production room or the trailer or wherever it is they live on race night. Could be an underground lair for all we know. What does your Spencer look like? Like, I choose to picture him a combination between, say, like Yoda. I don't like the Mel Brooks Yoda, though, not the Yoda.
I just picture him kind of like, did you ever watch Inspector Gadget as a kid?
Yeah.
And the bad guy sat in the chair and all you ever saw was his arm? I think that's Spencer.
Don't you also see, what show is it where you see the fingers twiddling? Going back to green, Kenny Schrader down low, Justin Mills up high, the green flag waves.
Back at it, Schrader edges ahead. Mills, though, is going to get a run through corner number 2 on the bottom, and they're going to go back door to door down the backstretch. Mills edges ahead. Here comes Stiers on the outside, coming from the back.
Way up on the high side goes Stiers, so does Kenny Schrader. Trying to find room around Mills, he'll stay up high. Mills running the middle of the racetrack down into 1 and 2. 5 laps to go.
Schrader going to get the good run this time off of corner number 2. He'll draw up on the back end of that Mills machine as they go down into corner number 3. Laps winding down. 4 more circuits this time by for Justin Mills.
Stiers high, wide, and handsome. Gregory squeezes up towards the outside. He has to roll out of the throttle just a little bit. That cost him a lot of ground in that zero machine.
3 laps to go this time around for Justin Mills. This would be a big win for him, I'm sure. Anytime you can beat a guy like Kenny Schrader, that's something you're going to go home smiling about. He's got the lead right now, but here comes Schrader digging on the bottom.
Schrader looking to close that gap. Glenn Stiers works back into the top 5. Can he get to a podium spot? Those are not easy passes ahead of him. He's got 2 laps to try to get it done.
2 more trips around. Mills, Schrader, Smith, and Dick. And right now, Glenn Stiers has worked his way back into the top 5. But the scoreboard lap number is dwindling away. It might be too late for the Ohsweken Flyer.
White flag going to be in the air this time for Justin Mills. Stiers sends it to the outside of Dick.
Trying to run up on the back end of the Domino's Pizza 09. Meanwhile, the leader works down the backstretch. Half a lap to go. Justin Mills sails it through 3 and corner number 4. Checkers will come out. And Justin Mills will pick up the win over Ken Schrader. Derek Smith at the line, 3rd, and no, Stiers couldn't edge his way into 4th. Joel Dick picks up the 4th spot over Glenn Stiers. Then it's Sean Gregory in 6th, 7th, Nathan Rinaldi, 8th, Curtis King, 9th, Leslie Turcotte Mowat, and 10th will go to Tate O'Leary, Wally Alderdice, and Caleb O'Leary in the pit area at the end of this one.
Really good show by these UMP modifieds. And that's the conversation. There's been a lot of it on social media about car counts and how that doesn't necessarily dictate what a good race we see. We saw just about everything in that race. We saw some fantastic battles, some slide jobs, some dicey moves. We saw one of the best in the history of the sport get squeezed up into the outside wall and carry on for a 2nd place finish. don't know what more we could ask for, as Justin Mills going to roll his way down towards Quick victory lane. He's being directed around the muck by Clinton Jeffrey. And this is why we don't use hand signals anymore by the flag people. It's hard for them to understand, but now he's getting the idea. Go around the mud, keep that car nice and clean. He'll roll that into Quick victory lane, right in the winner's position, right between second and third place finishers. Clinton Jeffrey is on the scene to greet him.
Thanks, Adam. We'll take care of this muck down here throughout the week. Justin Mills pulls here into victory lane, and we'll get ready as Schrader will go over and congratulate him. Schrader over there to offer congratulations and shake the hand of Justin Mills. Smith in here as well, and we'll get Justin out to have a word with him. What a good battle we saw here tonight. So fans, he can hear you now. How about making some noise for Justin Mills, your winner here tonight? Justin, welcome to Quick Victory Lane here at Ohsweken Speedway. Congrats on a great run here. How's it feel to be one of the best who's ever held a wheel?
Oh, I'm exhausted. This car's just been great. You know, it's our third night out, and it's a brand new Outlaw by two brothers. I mean, you can call them guys anytime. They'll help you out, do whatever you need, and I mean, they give me one hell of a race car.
Amazing job. You guys had some heck of a lot of battles there, sliding back and forth, switching lanes. Talk about it.
Well, you know, I seen Kenny, and he the one restart, he slid me on the inside, and I thought, oh, you bugger, you got her, and then I could get him back and forth, and I mean, that was fun, and it was, you know, I knew he wasn't going to hit me, and I wasn't going to hit him, and I mean, it was a good, clean race, and I hope everybody enjoyed it.
Sure did. Congrats. We'll get over here and talk to Mr. Schrader. Well, Schrader, you almost had one there. These Canadian kids make you work every time when you come up here. How's your week been?
We've had a good week. I just got my ass handed to me tonight. He was just plain old faster, but such fun race. I mean, you know, it's always more fun when you win, but I got out of the car, I told him instantly, I said that was just as much fun as I've had in a race car in a long time, because I knew, I mean, I was going to abuse him, but I wasn't going to mark him up, you know, and I knew he was leaving me room, so it was just good fun racing.
We appreciate you being here, Schrader. How about it for NASCAR legend Ken Schrader back with us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. He's still got the 358 modified race to come, and we'll be talking to him more if he can make it back to Quick Victory Lane. Guys, we got to get in here and get a word with Drew Smith, too. Drew, great run for you. I mean, you had two of the best here in front of you, and then at the end, Stiers was making a run before he got in trouble. Some good battles out there.
Yeah, no, it was pretty awesome to watch them slide each other. Glenn was definitely a good battle, and it was just happy for Justin that he was able to come away with the win and us finish in the top three.
Congrats, there's Drew Smith. He'll be third. Justin Mills, your winner, and Ken Schrader will finish second here tonight. How about it, fans, for all the UMP and Canadian mods that made the trek? Most of them came 3 hours to race here. And Will Schrader, he's about 14. Guys, that'll do it from Quick Victory Lane. We've got 2 more feature events to come here live from Ohsweken.
That's why Ken Schrader does what he does. He's a racer, a true through racer. He loves what he does, and one of the best of all time, and it's fun to see him do what he did here tonight. Man, he put on a show.
He really did, and so did Justin Mills, so did Drew Smith. It was just a fantastic battle, and it's always a pleasure to watch Kenny race. He's just got a passion for the sport. We're going to take a break on G-Force TV. When we come back, it'll be time for Middleport Mechanical Thunderstock Feature Racing.
So who exactly is Fast Eddie? More than just a man, it's the mindset that runs through our blood like oil through an engine. Whether on the track or on the street, Fast Eddie is the spirit that drives us to go fast and keep going. Born in 1949 with no time to look in the rear view mirror, Every story is worth telling, and every piece of Fast Eddie apparel has its own. Celebrate our mindset. This is Fast Eddie. This is combustion culture. FastEddieSpeedwear.com.
Early man discovered fire, but Quick Wick perfected fire. Quick Wick is the only fire starter that guarantees to start your campfire, wood stove, or fireplace without the need for kindling or paper. Find your nearest Quick Wick retailer at quickwick.com.
Back live at Ohsweken Speedway for Friday Night Excitement, brought to you by APC Auto Parts Centers. We got another feature lined up and ready to go. It's the Middleport Mechanical Thunderstocks. And they have 28 cars ready to go for 20 laps. Starting on the pole in this one, Jim Lampman out of Caister Center in the 28. His outside will be Trevor DeBoer out of Hagersville in the 23. Going from the third spot from Guelph, the 79, is Chris Hale. And from fourth, it's Kyle Andrus from Hamilton in the 43. Starting in fifth from Caledonia, the 55, is Mikey Bobby, Mike Thorne. And rolling off sixth out of Hagersville, the 3B, Devin Bacher. Starting in seventh out of Burlington, the 97 is Ron Logie. Going from eighth, Rob Hoskins out of Harley in the 37. Mark Fawcett out of Canfield in the 32 will roll off ninth. And going from 10th, last week's winner, defending champion out of Hagersville, the 49, is Brewster Baker, Dave Bailey. Starting in 11th out of Victoria in the 84 RK, Ryan Beagle, last week's runner-up. And his outside going from 12th out of Caister Center, the 41, Adam Plazik. Starting in 13th out of Jerseyville, the 53, that's Logan Schwedick. And going from 14th out of Ohsweken, the 24, Blake Bomberry Jr. 15th starting spot from Ohsweken, the 38, Frank Turkey. And rolling off 16th out of Thorold in the 11, it's Go Fast Teeple. 17th starting spot is where we find last week's third place finisher from Hagersville, the 93K of Mike Klazinga. And from the 18th starting spot out of Port Colborne, the 11R, Bryce Richardson. 19th starting position from Corbyville, the 2M, that'll be Mark McDonald. Going 20th is Ryan Berry out of Hagersville in the 75. Scott Dunn rolls off 21st. He's from West Lorne in the 65 machine. 22nd starting position from Ohsweken, the 28T of Cameron Thompson. 23rd is Ken Sargent. He's from Hamilton in the 25. And starting in 24th out of Ancaster, the 19 of Kyle Wirt. Rolling off 25th out of Brantford, the 13 is Casey Huffman. And starting in 26th, Donnie Lampman out of Caister Center in the 28D. 27th from Hagersville, the 93 of Melissa Miller. And going from the 28th and final starting position from Hamilton, the 07 of Scott McPhail.
Frank Turkey needing some support to get rolling down there, and I don't think that car is going to fire. I believe he's going to be pushed all the way back to the pits. No, the car does fire. Sometimes when these cars get parked on the banking, it affects the carburetors and starves them of fuel. So you get them on level ground and they're able to fire up.
Starving, a feeling you and I have never known.
No.
Great shot from the drone again as we see the field get ready to come to life. About 3/4 of a lap behind the Strickland pace truck as it will pull off on the back stretch. Rick Scott pulls it in. There's the front row up close and personal here on GeForce TV.
Top two finishers from last week back in the 10th and 11th starting spots, the 49 and the 84. There's a lot of fast, hungry drivers between them and the lead. Green flag is out.
Great feature 1 week ago for this class, the Middleport Mechanical Thunderstock Division. Here we go for another 20 laps here tonight. Trevor DeBoer, Chris Hale following him to the outside line, but Jim Lampman working that Camaro. In that orange number 28, running in third. He'll feel the pressure from Mike Thorne.
I'm still fascinated by the Kyle Andrus, number 43. Very quick in the turns, very slow on the straightaways. It sort of bottles things up like an accordion. Chris Hale putting the pressure on DeBoer out in front. Mike Thorne all by his lonesome in the third spot right now, but here comes Dave Bailey into the top 5.
Trevor DeBoer leads lap number 2. But here comes Chris Hale digging on the bottom side. Look at that view here from the drone right in the back window as we got one slow. It's Ron Logie in the 97. That will bring out the caution flag.
Nice job by the drivers in this Thunderstock division to be able to fan out and get around the Logie number 97.
Is the person running the drone using one of those VR headsets? I've seen that done. Spencer says yes. I couldn't last but 2 minutes on that, and I would be. I'd be in the wash.
You'd be recycling your supper.
Clint's down trackside with Ron Logie.
Well, Ron says transmission, guys, he's going to get the pushback. He figures the car is running, just has no drive, so something in the transmission has gone awry on this 97.
Hey, and I just got a note. It's Don Thompson's birthday tomorrow. Donnie Thompson Sr. Cameron Thompson's father. We seem so smart, Greg, don't we?
We do.
Well, we've got some information. We really just have a good network of people that feed us intelligence.
We're not eating enough of it.
No, that's probably true. We're going to double up this field, and once again, we're going to do a quick fire it up so you can enjoy the sounds of this Thunderstock feature event.
There's a driver running really well here tonight that I'm glad to see running well, but I'm not going to mention his name. I don't want to point out who he is, but I really hope he has a good finish, and if he does, we'll talk about it then.
Sounds good.
I don't believe in superstition, but there's just something about us opening up our big mouths that ruin it for drivers. As we get ready to go, let's do a quick fire it up. Caution flag. 3 laps on the scoreboard. Darren Shawcross just shot somebody. I don't know if that picked up, but that's a wild sneeze. Talk about blazing saddles. Oh, dear. Oh, debris. Or what are we calling it? Stuff?
Stuff.
On the front stretch puts us under the caution flag. Looks like a garbage bag.
Huh. Who did the sport of NASCAR?
Spit it out.
The sport of NASCAR. Born from moonshine runners and the dirty South. Who thought debris is what we should call yellow for stuff that gets on the racetrack?
Shrapnel would have been far better.
Right? It
should have been y'all's crud.
Right? Yeah. We've talked about word origins before, and I got in big trouble.
Yes.
Well, Tina's in Greece if you want to go for a round 2. She might be watching.
I can't think of any more, but we'll fill people in on the origin of cockeyed next week because it's fascinating to Google some things and find out where they begin.
All right, white flags on the field. 3 in, 17 to go for the Middleport Mechanical Thunderstocks. Trevor DeBoer, Mike Thorne on the front row for this restart. Dave Bailey, Chris Hale back there in row number 2. Rob Hoskins and Mark Fawcett back there in row number 3.
Bailey right down on the bottom of the racetrack trying to cool off those American race. I believe it. Well, he could have Hoosier tires on. I think they can still run either or.
Back we go. Under full song, down into corner number 1. Trevor DeBoer out in front in that number 23 machine. Here comes Bailey to the inside of Mike Thorns. They go 3 wide down the backstretch.
Ryan Beagle got down in the slop. That car jumped way out of shape on him as they still run 3 wide out of turn number 4. Dave Bailey going to lead lap number 4.
Got one around in corner number 3. I can't tell. Is that Ken Sargent?
Looks like it could be.
It is.
And caution flag comes out as the field bears down on Ken Sargent, sitting sideways there in corner 3.
So I'm gonna preface this story by saying if you get squeamish.
Oh, I'm out. I gotta take my headset off.
It's so my son last night. It's about 10 o'clock. Sends me a message. You want to see a picture with a lot of blood in it? How do you answer your son or daughter who has gone out for the evening? I'm thinking, no, I don't. But yeah, like, what are you up to? Like, what
is he washing laundry?
Or? Yeah. How do we qualify this?
The proper answer is text your mother.
Yeah. So he tells me he's at Kenny Sargent's shop. This is why it's relevant.
Oh, okay.
He's at Kenny Sargent's shop with Cam Thompson. And he sends me a picture of the driveway, and somebody has had a bit of an accident because there is a fair amount of blood on the ground. I guess Kenny was drilling something.
Oh.
And the drill slipped and went through his hand. And I think it was Ryan Dinning there as well. It says it's not so bad when you drill through your hand. The worst part is having to put the drill on reverse to back it out again. Like, oh, goodness gracious.
Are you supposed to leave it there and let the professionals take it out?
Apparently not. So I'd mentioned earlier Kenny Sargent, who's not entirely up to speed tonight, and that could be a little bit of the reason. He's got an owie.
That's more than an owie.
Christopher Hale's car has a different... Its stance was strange coming to that green flag. It looks like it's tipped over towards the right front, but he's plenty quick out there in the 79. He jumps up to the 3rd spot right behind Trevor DeBoer in the 23.
Dave Bailey back out in front, last week's winner, with Trevor DeBoer in 2nd. Chris Hale right now running in the 3rd spot. Mark Fawcett and Rob Hoskins going at it for 4th and 5th. Put Hoskins up to 4th now.
Mike Thorne sliding backwards in that 55 machine, the Burger Barn 55. I don't know when the last time there was a race at Ohsweken and there was only one Burger Barn car in the field. But Mike Thorne, the lone representative of the brand here this evening, and he has more troubles down the front stretch.
What a pack of cars behind Mike Thorne right now. It's Jim Lampman, who has struggled a bit and dropped about mid-pack, and Kyle Word and a bunch of other cars back behind there. Bryce Richardson in the thick of it.
Go Fast Teeple, Frank Turkey, who had trouble getting that car fired. He's got it running, and he's running right around the middle of the racetrack towards the tail end of the pack, but man, that's got to be fun.
Great job by the Word crew to get the front end of that car looking pretty good. You'd never know he had that head-on contact in his qualifying heat. He's right in the thick of this.
Got a little bit squirrely there in the corner. I think someone might have tagged him from behind. He got it gathered up and made a pass. Out in front is Dave Bailey by 10-12 car lengths over Trevor DeBoer, Chris Hale, Rob Hoskins, and Mark Fawcett.
Oh, Adam Plazik. I think something happened with Jim Lampman there. He came down into Plazik and almost pushed him into the infield, and now Jim Lampman dropping to the back of the pack, but he seems to be back up to speed.
Cameron Thompson squeezed between Lampman and the outside wall down the front straightaway. Never took his foot out of the throttle. Attaboy, Cam. We're halfway through, 10 laps down, 10 laps to go.
Dave Bailey over Chris Hale, Trevor DeBoer, Rob Hoskins.
Ooh, Trevor DeBoer just giving a few pushes. That's not something we see very often out of DeBoer, but give a few pushes there to Chris Hale.
Mark Fawcett right now running in the 5th spot, and last week's runner-up is up to the 6th position. He started in 11th as Ryan Beagle.
I hope this race stays green. I want to see the leaders have to battle through this slower traffic, because the slower traffic is pretty darn quick, and they're fanned out 2 wide, 3 wide, all the way around this racetrack at the moment.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy going for Dave Bailey when he catches the back end of this pack. He's got a good about 3/4 of a straightaway advantage over Chris Hale and Trevor DeBoer.
Hale and DeBoer running very low lines around the racetrack. Even on the straightaway, they're keeping those cars relatively low. Dave Bailey closing in on the back of the field. The Lampman number 28, the first car he's going to encounter.
Oh, Melissa Miller around in corner 2. And that will put us under the caution flag. So that will negate all of that lap traffic you were looking for, Adam. 6 laps left to go.
You can't always get what you want, Greg. Mick Jagger was right.
But if you try really hard.
Folks, this race here tonight is the reason why watching the sport on GeForce TV is not good enough. Because we will show you the action we can show you. There's always, you always favor showing the leaders. But the action in the back of the pack, Greg, was breathtaking.
Yeah, it was. It was 3 and 4 wide, and just so many different moves that I wasn't paying attention to the leaders at all, watching a lot of the back of the pack, and there were times where you were expecting to see a car go sailing through the infield or end up collecting a bunch of others, because there were a ton of close calls there mid-pack on back, and Melissa Miller gets the 93 back going and back on track.
She was like Zoolander right there. She can't turn left. She just kept turning right all the way across the infield and back on the track. We're doubling up the field, and as is the case normally on dirt tracks, we're going to go straight to green. Who was it saying? Was it Mike Joy? It was someone fairly prominent saying, why do we have to give the 1-to-go signal when we're under yellow? Are we not at a point in technology that we can just go back to green? I said, yeah, check out a dirt race. I think you'll find they're pretty efficient. I don't ever remember people battling for the inside as hard as they are tonight. Immediately, Chris Hale dropped down to the bottom of the racetrack. Black flag being displayed to Mike Thorne.
I shouldn't have even said who I was hoping would continue his good night, because it was Mike Thorne. He was racy early on, up at the front, challenging with the leaders, and more hard luck here for Mike Thorne. One of those nice guys you just want to see do well, and he's really had a rough patch here over the last few years.
Yeah, it's been some character-building seasons for Mike Thorne, and he's going to heave that black flag, head up towards the pits. Laps are winding down. 4 laps to go.
Bailey trying to stretch it out over Chris Hale. Trevor DeBoer right now riding in the 3rd spot. Rob Hoskins doing a nice job, hanging tough there in 4th, and it's Ryan Beagle right now that's trying to crack into the top 5. And I know we're only 2 races in, and you don't like talking points, Adam, but at this point, when Dave Bailey's running away looking for his 2nd in a row, and you're Ryan Beagle, if you're contending for a championship, I'm sorry, but it starts on nights 1 and 2 as well.
But you have to keep in mind as we reach 2 laps to go, because these fields of cars are so big, if you're in 6th spot, don't give away a top 5 or top 6 finish and take a chance, because if you don't finish 6th, if you make a mistake, you're going to finish 25th.
True. White flag out for Dave Bailey in the Queenston Chevrolet Gibbs Action Sport number 49. Chris Hale, Trevor DeBoer following in his tire tracks, but it looks like they will have nothing. Brewster Baker as he sends it down the back stretch a final time.
One last time into turn 3 and 4, Bailey down to the inside of the racetrack. He can see the checkered flags in the air. Brewster Baker with another win in that 49. Chris Hale second, Trevor DeBoer, Rob Hoskins, Mark Fawcett holds off Ryan Beagle for 5th, 7th to Mike Klazinga, Logan Schwedick in 8th, Blake Bombury Jr. 9th, and rounding out the top 10, it's Devin Bacher.
Now here's what I think for entering victory lane. The longboat, and I can't remember who he's racing for, when they went through the infield through victory lane, they sailed over that bump at speed. So I'm thinking enter victory lane at full hum.
Absolutely.
Clear that bump.
But Chris Hale's going around the backside. Don't do it. Don't look, Ethel.
You done and done it.
I love Ray Stevens. So one more race yet to come, folks, and it is the Dirt Car 358 Modifieds. You know, talking to Matt Williamson earlier tonight, he was genuinely excited to be back at Ohsweken Speedway. He ran a lot of races here, cut his teeth racing here, has gone on to some phenomenal success. As we get Dave Bailey in position, he knows where to park that thing. Trevor DeBoer I think he's going to parallel park it.
Look at this up close shot at Lone Wolf Fireworks. The drone right in the thick of it. Whoa, okay. That's about where I'd lose my lunch.
Yeah. One of the best videos I've ever watched on YouTube was a drone through a big spectacular fireworks display. It was something else.
Dave Bailey unbuckling second week in a row in the Queenston Chevrolet Gibbs Action Sport number 49. He'll take the window net down here in a moment and get a chance to talk with our Clinton Jeffrey down at Quick Wick Fire Starter Victory Lane. Dave getting the Hans device off, climbing into the car. Let's send it down to Clinton Jeffrey.
Dave Bailey back out here, the 49 car. We'll get him around for a quick word. Dave, these heads-up start nights certainly help you get out to a good jump in the points. Nothing different than we normally do, about 2 to 3 weeks typically before we jump into handicapping. Start typically back around 18th, so a pretty good kickstart to the season for you.
Yeah, it's we came from 10th, I think, tonight, and at least when you come from the back a little bit, you can kind of learn what's going on and have a little bit of an idea what the racetrack's going to do and watch the guys in front of you. So it's not great starting back there, but you can learn stuff, so you can take advantage of it.
Let's talk about the Speedway. You've seen it a lot. Zigger's back. Things look pretty good around here, I think.
Yeah, it's smooth and slick, and it's really tough to get a hold of tonight, but it worked out. It looks like we had a good race, and should be in for a good 358 show.
Right on. All the things Ohsweken typically is what we've got here. We'll get over here and talk to the top three here. We got Trevor DeBoer. Chris, you don't need to go away. Trevor, a solid run for you. Whenever you can finish second today, it's still a pretty good night.
Oh, it's always good just to make it on the cement here. We did a bunch of changes during the week, make it handle a little, put some old, looked into our notes from a couple years ago and actually listened to what I changed.
Awesome job, Trevor DeBoer. Get second. We'll get over here and talk to Chris Hale. Chris, not too often you have to go on the hook to get back to the podium, but we'll fix that up for you. Great run for you. I mean, this car, the guys are talking about how it just takes a different set. The angles of it are different than all the rest. The setup you've got in it's working, but looks a little bit unorthodox.
Yeah, I know we're trying some things. Of course, you gotta. If you're finishing second, you gotta try something to win. So we're not here to finish second. So hopefully we get it done next week. But I want to say thank you to my wife and Brittany and my son Jacob, all my crew guys, Cole, Tony. Unfortunately, we had to switch 2 starters before we started tonight. So thanks to Chris Dickey and all those guys that helped me out, and Logan Schwedick for lending me a starter that worked. So.
There you have it. Chris Hale finishes third. Trevor DeBoer will be second. Dave Bailey, for the second week in a row, will pick up the win here in the Middleport Mechanical Thunderstocks, and he is in Quick Wick Victory Lane. We'll be right back live here on G-Force TV for our final race of the evening.
I've always had this spirit that I wanted to invent something new. And so when we got into clothing, I got immersed into it. And the only way that you would really understand how to build clothing is to become a pattern maker. That pattern maker concept started becoming very interesting to me because I went, I can make this better. Love it. Absolutely love designing. Doesn't matter whether it's a garment or an engine or a car, decals on our race cars. I love doing it. That's my forte.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV. Back live at Ohsweken Speedway on GeForce TV. Final feature of the night. It's the Dirt Car 358 Modifieds ready to go for their feature event. 30 laps will be the distance. Chad Chevalier, Heavy Chevy, will start from the pole. He's out of Port Colborne, Ontario, aboard car number 12. To his outside from Port Robinson, the 74 is David Flanagan. Starting in third out of St. Catharines, the 71, that's Mike Bowman. And going from fourth out of Kingston in the 3RS, it's the Pocket Rocket, Danny O'Brien. Starting in fifth is Mark Delario aboard car number 08. To his outside from St. Catharines in the 37S, it's Gary Lindbergh. Starting in seventh, also from St. Catharines aboard car number 6, it's Money Matt Williamson. And to his outside from Fort Erie, the 18R, Brad Rouse. Going off ninth out of St. Catharines, the 33 of Tyler Willard. To his outside, Fred Carlton. In the 96, Todd Gordon. Out there in the 28 machine, he'll go from 11th. 12th, Luke Carlton. 13th will be Shane Pierce. And then we've got Glenn Stiers and Ken Schrader back in 14th and 15th. Ready to go, our final feature of the night, the 358 Modifieds, ready to light up the wick.
Couple of cars not making the call. We've got no Danny O'Brien out there, and there's only one Ohsweken number 0, so I'm not sure if that's Glenn Stiers or Kenny Schrader. It's the car Stiers qualified, but
I believe it's Glenn that is out there. Kenny had a 0S, that's the plain 0 with the orange outline, so that's Glenn Stiers out there. Ken Schrader and Danny O'Brien not making the call. Chad Chevalier works it off the corner with Gary Lindbergh in tow. Here comes Fred Carlton. He works to the outside of David Flanagan down in 1 and 2. Carlton up top. Flanagan gets some bite off the bottom, trying to hold on to the third spot.
3 wide further back in the pack. Glenn Stiers to the inside of Todd Gordon, to the inside of Mark Delario. They battle just outside the top 10, or right around for that 10th position.
Mike Bowman trying that extreme outside line of the Seaway Power Fluid number 71. Oh, Flanagan hops the wall in the backstretch, and something may have broke on that car because he's now coasting up to the outside of corner number 4, and that will put us under the caution flag. David Flanagan slowed down here on the front stretch, and we are under the caution with 4 laps on the board. It was a wild ride down the backstretch, hopped the wall, and broke something, I believe, in the right front. That 74 machine. Go back to the last completed lap, so 3 laps on the board, 27 to go.
Now, Clint, if you can get confirmation, let us know if it's Glenn or Kenny in the 0 machine.
That's Glenn.
I wasn't sure if he would have given up the ride to Ken, or if Ken decided it wasn't his cup of tea, or...
Not sure, but some wild contact there is. We were calling for camera 3, and who would have thought Glenn would have been putting the marks down the backstretch wall?
Yeah, I didn't catch that, but we just saw the replay.
Yeah, pretty violent. I'm shocked he's actually still racing out here, guys. Watch for the 0. There's a trailing arm or something, a rear sway bar gone in the car, guys. I think the rear end is swaying around inside that 0 car.
So out in front, This time by the flag stand, it's Gary Lindbergh over Money Matt Williamson in the second spot. Chad Chevalier digging on the bottom with car number 6 to his outside, but Williamson's going to take the position going into 3. Back under the caution flag.
But I have to think it's another debris caution.
I like Clint's word, crud.
Yeah, that's true.
The crud caution. Don't forget, next Friday night, we'll be right back at it. Sprint cars back in the house. The 360s and the crate sprints will return, along with their Thunder stocks and mini stocks. Duel on the dirt for both of those stock car divisions. Upcoming on G-Force in the next little while, the AP Emissions Technologies 100 from Peterborough Speedway. The APC Series returns to Peterborough. That's going to be a big deal. June 30th, we'll be at Humberstone Speedway for the Pinty's Knights of Thunder 360 Sprint Car Series, plus the Canadian 358 Modified Tour. And then right back here on July the 1st with that very same Canadian Sprint Car Nationals and 358 Modified Tour, plus the Action Sprint Tour, all right here on G-Force TV, free as always.
Wow. Freddie Carlton right across the nose of Chad Chevalier there, coming down into the corner. Tyler Willard looking racy in that 33 out in front, though. Gary Lindbergh has pulled away.
Mike Bowman's really searching around, trying to find what works for that 71 machine. He's right in behind Tyler Willard, riding in that 6th position. 5 laps on the board, 25 to go. Glenn Stiers trying the outside line now here in the 358. It worked in the UMP.
Yep, it sure did, as he's up over the banking in turns 3 and 4, but out in front, Gary Lindbergh being hounded by Matt Williams, and Freddie Carlton losing some ground in that 3rd position. He's got Chad Chevalier in the 12 right behind, Tyler Willard in the 33, and as you said, Mike Bowman searching all over the racetrack trying to close in.
How about Gary Lindbergh out in front? It's like as soon as he made the move to the 358s, he was automatically in contention, it seemed, and just so smooth as a driver. Always a pleasure to watch Gary Lindbergh as he leads the way behind another one of the best in the business, Money Matt Williamson.
Not even a third of the way through this one, so things can change for these race cars. They do widen out a track, and they've got to be searching every lap for where the bite is in this clay.
Fred Carlton holding down the 3rd spot over Chad Chevalier. Tyler Willard right now running in the 5th spot. Then it's Mike Bowman, Todd Gordon, Mark Delario, Brad Rouse, and Luke Carlton, the top 10.
Looking around the racetrack for battles, Glenn Stiers to the inside of Shane Pierce. They race side by side towards the back of the field. Problems! Gary Lindbergh, the race leader in the 37, pulls up lame at the end of the back straightaway. And there his car comes to rest as we go yellow.
That hands the lead over to that man. The S&W Service Center number 6 of Matt Williamson. There you see Gary Lindbergh parked on the high side of corner number 3, where we usually see cars enter the racetrack. Gary just tried to get out of the way. Here we see him on the replay coming off of corner number 2, and some sparks showering out of the back of the car, and he takes it up to the high side and parks it up there and puts us back under the caution flag with 11 laps on the board.
And I don't think the track looks pretty smooth to me. Clinton will be able to tell us better than I could.
Gary, tough break here. You were leading this one. What happened?
I think the drive shaft let go. We bent the rear end last week. It was cocked over to the side. Probably should have changed the U-joints. Probably let go.
Not too often you got Matt Williamson behind you and running away. Tonight was the night, Gary.
Yeah, I felt like I had a really good car tonight, just the way it goes.
There you have Gary Lindbergh. Think they broke the drive shaft, guys, here in the 37S.
And it's those would-haves when you know and you think, maybe we should have done that. And that's a tough break for Gary Lindbergh. He had it hooked up tonight.
We've just finished saying we're about a third of the way through the race. Anything can happen, and it did. So under yellow, Matt Williamson will assume the lead of this one in the S&W Service Center. Number 6, Freddie Carlton, going to line up in the second spot with Chad Chevalier third, Tyler Willard fourth in the 33, Mike Bowman fifth in the 71. And it's Todd Gordon sixth in the 28. Either Mark Delario or Brad Rouse, 7th and 8th. Then Luke Carlton in the 97, Glenn Stiers in the 0, and Shane Pierce in the 88.
So the guy with the second most 358 wins here at Ohsweken Speedway, Matt Williamson, will assume the lead at the top of the scoreboard. He's got 2 career wins here in the 358s behind Pete McNell's 7. Matt's got 2 in the Sportsman as well. Cut his teeth here in the Dirt Sportsman many moons ago.
Well, and a number of these drivers did. They would have raced here on a regular basis every Friday night.
Fred Carlton, 18 Sportsman wins here.
He dominated for a time.
Guys, I don't know if you can see this, but if I turn this wheel, see that broken part there, Jack? That should be, the drive shaft should be connected to there, and it's not. It has tore off the back of the drive shaft. The U-joint has broken here. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but in there, it is tore up.
Great up close look right there.
Well, Jackson always giving us those good looks under the guidance of his father, Clint. Doing a great job for us this season. Jackson's sister, Kenzie, working up here as a scorer in the tower when we go on the road with the G4 show. She's a camera operator.
He won't cut the grass at home, so he's got to earn his allowance somehow, guys, you know.
You keep him working like that. I'd put my feet up when I go home. He has to put up with you all night at the races.
Not tonight. We're going to Montreal. Good to have the 358 modifieds here. Adam, I know they were excited to be back. And I got 2 more shows of them coming up this year.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of race cars when the Canadian 358 Modified Series comes to town. A lot of drivers from Eastern Ontario, from into Quebec. A lot of excitement around that series, but we've still got some excitement here. 11 laps in to our 30-lap feature event. Matt Williamson leads the way.
Fred Carlton to his outside. Back on the hammer here. Green flag is out, and Williamson gets a good launch down the front stretch and into corner number 1.
Carlton defends the inside of the racetrack. Tyler Willard says, okay, take the bottom. I'll go up high and try that out. He has to bite the brakes just a little bit on the backstretch as Chad Chevalier moves up towards the wall. Todd Gordon now the driver really working the outside, those bright yellow numbers. The number 28, of course, as I say that, he drops right to the bottom of the racetrack. It'll bring it off at turn number 4 up towards the wall. He's under attack by Brad Rouse in the 18R.
Keeping an eye on Fred Carlton and Chad Chevalier. That's a battle for the second spot as they roll through corner number 3. Right behind them, it's Tyler Willard and Mike Bowman. Mike just continuing to try and work his way up towards the front. Mike also has a crate sprint car now. Took a turn at that on Sunday night. Of course, he's run a few in the Terry Baker machine in the last couple of years, but now has his own crate sprint.
Yeah, he's got his feet wet, so to speak, in the crate sprint car division, now doing a lot more racing. The battle is on for 2nd through 5th. Matt Williamson has checked out a little bit. He's a straightaway ahead of Freddie Carlton, but Chad Chevalier, he is on the hunt.
Chevalier right there behind the number 96 of Fred Carlton's. They work off a corner, number 2. Willard is right there in the thick of it as well as he's pulled away a little bit from Mike Bowman. Chevalier looks to the outside of Carlton. Across the stripe, though, Carlton holds the 2nd spot. 4.47 seconds back from Matt Williamson.
Chad Chevalier making the most minor adjustments to his line lap after lap. He's found the line he wants in 3 and 4. Drives it to the outside of fast Freddie Carlton. Chad Chevalier to the 2nd spot.
He'll take the Rick's delivery, number 12, to the outside line and the 2nd position. Try and get a good run off of corner 2 and launch himself down the backstretch to get some distance. Clear a little bit, but Carlton not going away, digging hard on the bottom side.
Man, Brad Rouse to the inside of Todd Gordon. Gordon, I don't think realized he was there, really carved down into the turn. Both of those drivers took evasive action, avoided contact, but that was a close call that last lap.
Still watching that battle for the 2nd spot. Fred Carlton is not going away. He's right there behind Chad Chevalier going down into corner number 1. The 2 drivers continue to pedal, but it's Matt Williamson now. He's gained another 2 seconds on 2nd and 3rd place.
Look at Mike Bowman way up on the outside just behind them. He's struggling to find speed out there. Oh, we've got one around. Mark Delario goes around and just about got cleaned out by Luke Carlton.
Close call for Mark Delario. 9 laps left to go. That will bunch things back up.
That was an unpleasant sound.
Wow. I'm pretty sure if anyone made that sound in my ears for about 5 minutes, I'd confess to anything I didn't even do.
I'm guilty.
Just make it
Just
stop.
make that noise stop.
Oh, the things the fans don't get to hear.
I hope they didn't hear that.
Maybe they did. They may have.
Yogurt says they might have got a taste of that.
Time is it?
Yeah, right. Mike Bowman down to the inside, getting some moisture on those tires.
Bunch back up, ready to go again. Williamson and Chevalier.
Williamson got a good launch. Freddie Carlton was a little bit of spark came out that 96, but cost him a few spots. The car looks to be back up to speed.
Oh, Willard gets up into Chevalier. Now we got cars gathering in corner 2, and Mark Delario will bring up the caution again.
I think they're getting into the water on the inside of the track, and you spread water on this hard-packed clay, and it is a slippery that you have never experienced. No harm, no foul. Mark Delario going to tag the back of the field, and we should be ready to get going again pretty quickly. Stacking them up once again. Matt Williamson on the inside. Tyler Willard up on the outside. They get on the loud pedal. Back to green flag we go. 8 laps remain.
Brad Rouse now working on a top 5 as he works to the outside of Fred Carlton. Now Chevalier slips up a bit, and that allows Mike Bowman into the top 3.
And the position swapping towards the back. Todd Gordon's been up to 5th. He's been back to 10th. Everyone in between have just been swapping spots back and forth. There is a lot to take in through this field. Out in front, it's all Matt Williamson. Behind the top three, it's anyone's game.
Williamson, Willard, Bowman, your top three. Then it's Chevalier, Rouse trying to hold off Fred Carlton. Glenn Stiers has worked his way up here, up into the 7th spot.
Stiers moving in the right direction at this point of the race for sure. He loses some forward bite there coming through 1 and 2. That allows Shane Pierce and Todd Gordon to close in. The 88 and the 28 both drive to the inside of that zero machine. Not quite close enough to make a move.
Williamson setting sail down the back stretch. This time by it'll be 4 laps left to go for the driver of the S&W Service Center's number 6. Willard holding down that second position over Bowman.
Yeah, Willard with a comfortable advantage over Bowman in the 71. Matt Williamson hasn't streaked away quite as far as he did before, but definitely a comfortable lead for the 6 of mighty Matt Williamson.
Down the back stretch he goes. This time by it'll be 2 laps left to go. For Williamson over Willard, Bowman. Willard and Bowman really kind of came on here late in the race here and late in the going. Willard just was patient, worked his way to second, and Mike Bowman searched around, and finally got himself up there.
Stiers blew it off the end of the racetrack down in 3 and 4, lost himself a couple of spots there as the white flag flies one more time around for Matt Williamson.
This guy has been on fire over the last few seasons down south, the Super Dirt Car Series, and now here he comes off of corner number 4. Money Matt does it again. He cashes in at Ohsweken.
Checkered flag is thrown by Dave Hunsinger. Thankfully, he has 2 of them in his hand.
Matt Williamson wins it over Tyler Willard. Mike Bowman finishes 3rd. Chad Chevalier 4th. Brad Rouse 5th. Fred Carlton 6th. Shane Pierce will cross the line in 7th. Todd Gordon 8th. 9th. Mark Delario and Glenn Stiers finishes in 10th. Luke Carlton 11th. Gary Lindberg will finish in 12th. Dave Flanagan 13th. And then the no starts for Danny O'Brien and Ken Schrader. So we'll send Matt Williamson down to victory lane to talk to our Clinton Jeffrey, along with Tyler Willard and Mike Bowman down in Quick Wick victory lane. Lone Wolf fireworks lighting up the sky. You find them over on Highway 54 for all your fireworks needs as we get ready for Canada Day not too far down the road. Lone Wolf Fireworks, the official firework provider of Ohsweken Speedway. We get the top 3 lined up in Quick Wick Fire Starter victory lane. We'll send it down to our Clinton Jeffrey with Money Matt. He's done it again, Clint.
These drivers, all 3 of these drivers cut their teeth here as youngsters. Spent a lot of time growing up here. Matt Williamson, as a 14-year-old, got in behind the wheel of a sportsman. Now he's lighting it up on the national stage. How about it, folks, for Money Matt Williamson picks up the win here tonight. Matt, solid drive, just like we told Dylan Westbrook when he came back last week, you're always going to be one of our guys, and we'll still claim you, Matt. You started a lot of your early years here. Tell us about your run tonight, and maybe how Ohsweken helped you start your career.
Yeah, we came here for a lot of years on Friday nights, back when they had sportsmen every week, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, the track has changed a tremendous amount. Never ever did I think I'd be running around the bottom or kind of in the middle. It was really racy. We came from 7th, and I got to thank you guys for having us. It's too bad we couldn't get a bigger field, but not too bad considering it's a Friday night in the middle of summer, and the way the world is, it's expensive to go racing.
Let's talk about Gary. He was kind of running away from you there, Matt. He looked like he had you covered before his drive shaft broke. Were you getting a little worried, or were you just biding your time?
No, I mean, he was good. I don't know if I would have got him. I was kind of searching around. I'd lose a little bit and then gain a little bit, but yeah, he was good. Clean air was obviously a pretty good thing to have, and I just got to thank my guys. This G-Force thing's pretty cool to be televised live. I can send it down to Buzz and Spot and Coco and Jeff and everybody that's down the States getting the hot rods ready for the next races.
Good job, Matt. We appreciate your time here tonight. Let's get over and talk to second and third. First off, Tyler. Tyler, what a great run, man. First off, I want to thank you for making the change. Talked at Humberstone, and we were telling the fans that you had a big block in your car. You had a small block. Weren't sure if you're going to make it. We appreciate you making it, and you're rewarded with the solid finish. Second here to Matt Williamson anywhere in North America is a pretty good night.
Yeah, we were even kind of keeping pace there at the end with Matt, and that, that's good for our notebook. We'll take that any day of the week. But yeah, we struggled a bit early. The timing was off. We had a U-joint go bad. Changed the U-joint, had a bad vibration. Luckily, it was the U-joint, but I think we still got an issue because I had a bit of a vibration coming back at the end. It was a long week. We luckily had a rain day Tuesday, so we pulled the big block out, put the small block back in, so we come support the local tracks, the guys that are supporting us, and hopefully we can run a few more races and see what the end of the year brings.
You know, you lost your crew chief, Mike Grant, prior to the season here. Mike brought a lot of you youngsters here as young guns, he called it. Pretty cool. You could get one for Mike tonight.
Yeah, I don't think there's too many guys in the pits that didn't know Mikey or feel his vibes, you know what I mean? He was just an all-around good guy, and we sure do miss him a lot.
Damn right we do. Mike Bowman, great run for you. I mean, third, you looked like you were struggling there a bit, Bowman, but come back in on the pad here in quick victory lane for third. Not a bad recovery.
Yeah, I think we were struggling pretty much lap 1 through 30. Just my luck was they kept bunching us up on the restarts, and we were just fortunate enough to gain some track position back there.
We're excited to see you in a crate. Going to be around here with one soon?
Yes, penciled in. There's a Monday, Tuesday crate nationals. So, yeah, I think that'll be our debut up here in the sprint car. Other than that, we're just kind of hanging around home. Travel is really expensive these days. So, we'll hang out, keep plugging away. We're at Maryville tomorrow night in the crate sprint car, and looking for another good finish there.
Right now, Mike Bowman will finish third. Tyler Riddle will be second. Matt Williamson will pick up the win here tonight, guys. That'll wrap it down here from Victory Lane. We'll turn it up to you to take us home.
Great night of racing tonight, Adam. Good to see the modifieds that we don't get to see too often here. And next week, sprint cars are back, but a good taste of the Mighty Mods.
Yeah, it was a great night to change things up just a little bit. Kenny Schrader coming to town. I mean, you've got to realize you're watching something very special when you watch Kenny Schrader race. There's not many people with his credentials, with his passion for the sport. And it really is a treat to watch him battle like he did with Justin Mills, to watch Matt Williamson, the hottest modified racer in the Northeast. I mean, it really was a special kind of night. And I think our divisions, the mini stocks and the thunder stocks, as always, did themselves proud.
Great night all around. Don't forget, next Friday night, we'll be right back here, 7:30 start time with the 360s and the crate sprints. We'll be back with the thunder stocks and minis. 7:30 start time right here at Ohsweken Speedway, ohswekenspeedway.ca for all the information. So that will wrap things up. On behalf of the Ohsweken staff, the management, ownership, and on behalf of Clinton Jeffrey and Adam Ross, have fun sleeping in your cars tonight, boys. We'll see you back here Friday night. I'm Greg Kellman saying so long for G-Force TV. Copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of G-Force TV. G-Force TV would like to thank you for your support and for watching today's broadcast.